All right, and we're here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
And this is Annabelle Lecter.
And we have the fine folks of Make Me a Pizza, which we loved at Boston Underground Film Festival. We have director Talia, Shea, Levin. Hello.
Hello.
And Sophie, Neff. It's good to have you both here. So for people not aware yet, can you give them an idea of what Make Me a Pizza is about?
Yes. Make Me a Pizza is a short film that is a satire of the pizza boy delivery porno trope. So it starts where someone delivers a pizza that they have no intention of using money to pay for. They'd like to pay in another way. And the person who delivers it does not understand what they could be referring to. And things get stranger from their miscommunications. And it becomes this like absurdist porn satire, philosophy, fantasy journey to other worlds through pizza.
Yeah.
Where did this come
As I
from?
said, you know,
What?
Where did this come from? It's like, wow, okay.
I thought you said like, oh, common. Yeah, like people are like, oh, that happened to a buddy of mine once. we think it's really relatable and grounded. It's a really universal experience.
Yeah. If it was just the opening part, like I thought it would have been hilarious and I loved it. And as you said, it gets weirder and weirder, which I did not expect at all. Which I really didn't expect any of it, but it definitely goes in weird directions.
Yeah, this went in places I didn't expect at all, I gotta say.
So I am wondering, how did this idea generate?
Yeah, that so I think that it had like a lot of time to generate, and like it wasn't like we just had the idea and then the next day we were like, let's go make this, because Woody, the co-writer, and Sophie's co-star and I came up with it together in like early 2020. And it was just a joke for a while, but then it kept being this joke that we like came back to during the long, slow, sad years of the pandemic. And like it just kept making us laugh, and absurdity just seemed like the only answer to kind of everything that was going on, which is I think something that a lot of people find in absurd times. Like absurd stories make more sense. And we just kept like watching a lot of movies that inspired us to be like, yeah, I think we should make this thing. And then once it became possible to make things again, we got cooking, and we put it all together.
We made a pizza.
We made a pizza. Yeah, I mean, they're all the puns. We've been through all of them.
So, Sophie, had you worked with Talia before?
No, this was like our grand introduction. And I came on at pretty much the end of the process. Like at that point, she had like the biggest Pinterest board I've ever seen, full of inspiration, and the script was pretty much done and everything was set to go. Yeah.
When you saw the script, what did you think?
I thought it was really good and really fun, and they had a deck with it that I think was like a crucial thing to send to someone to understand like the visual language and kind of the humor they were going for. And honestly, I didn't really like think, I just felt an immediate like, oh, I want to do this. And then it wasn't until like a couple of days before we got to set that I was like, wait, what am I like? Oh my God, I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
And you did amazing with it. You're very believable in the pizza fantasy.
It was a lot of fun.
And you mentioned Woody Coyote, who's a co-star in the movie, and also I didn't realize he also wrote it with you, Talia.
Yes.
So is part of the idea like, because in my mind he always looks like that. I don't know if he always does. So does he just like you look like you would be this pizza delivery man from this family?
That's awesome.
Just like Sophie always looks like a 70s like
Always.
I'm trying to like find a word that isn't housewife. We put housewife. We put housewife because it felt like a porn trope. But I imagine the character would call herself a homemaker. Yeah, and Woody always looks like that. Woody always has.
Was that any part of the inspiration? Like you look like you.
You know,
Let's
he
make a
didn't
movie
have
around
the mustache until like the year that we made it. So he always had that hair, but I think he was beginning to embody the role.
Yeah, the mustache just makes the whole thing.
Yeah, I hope he still has it.
Yeah,
He does.
All right, be left. I'd feel bad if he didn't. I would he played it. Now, is he someone you worked with before? Since you came up with the idea with him.
Yeah, so we were working on a immersive theater show that was very politically minded, and in that show he was kind of playing someone who like literally got on a soapbox and talked about Marxism, and that I think was a riff on like a persona that had maybe been in his past. I don't know, everyone knows that like super leftist college kid who's just like always talking about theory. And that was kind of what this show was making fun of. And that show opened and closed on March 12th, 2020. So there was this like unfinished business, I think, to aspect to both like our collaboration and just like generally exploring, having like fun with exploring politics and theory and not having it be so I'm seeing these comments pop up and not having it be so serious. Everything was so serious, and using the language of like theater and play to get under the surface of that. And then because we had that working relationship when we were casting the other person, we really needed someone who I think spoke that same language of like physical storytelling and came from the theater world. And that's how Sophie got involved.
Sophie, you said like when you get there, like, oh, what am I doing now? We're actually making this. I would assume while you're making it, there has to be moments like that too. Some of the you're rolling around in cheese and different things.
I think while we were rolling around in cheese, it was mostly cold. Like that would have been the one reservation
Okay.
with that. Like you don't think about it when you're watching. But, if you zoom out and imagine them filming it, we're in like a very air conditioned studio with like wet marinara sauce and Elmer's glue, like slowly drying on us. So I never was like, why am I doing this? But I do feel like there were moments where I was like, I'm doing this. But no, and even kind of to amend what I said before, it wasn't that suddenly I didn't want to do it. I think I just loved the script so much. It was this feeling of like, yeah, of course I'm going to do this. But I didn't think about like, oh, I'm
what it actually means to be
my body
filmed.
into this like physical, like sex scene crazy thing. Like I didn't like get shy about it until right before. And then it was like, whoa, wait, what have I done?
I think you were really our guide with a lot of that. Cause I think you were like more fearless about it than Woody and I were, because we were having the same thing of like, we've been just joking about this over text or like when we hang out for like 3 years, like, haha, the pizza sex movie. And like, now we're here with this like other person that we have that like has to be stoked about it too. And like, everyone has to be stoked about it. And I think it was like at the first rehearsal that Sophie was like, yeah, so then I get down and I'd eat the pizza like this. And we're like, whoa, yeah, I guess we did put that in the storyboard. Like, I guess that is what we're doing. And it's that fun thing, which I think happens to some degree with all art, where it's like an idea and then you're really doing it. But with something like this, that was a fun hurdle to jump over. And then we were like, okay, well, she seems stoked, so I guess we better get on that level too. Like, and then like we got to a place where we were all more comfortable with it and trying to have fun with it. But trying to have fun. And some of it, not all of it's fun. Some of it is being cold, covered in cheese.
Yeah. Well, it was fine acting because I did not know the cheese was cold or the marinara sauce. It made me believe.
Very well.
Hope rolling around in cheese just became a new career goal of mine, and I want to let Hope and everyone know that that the film is on YouTube now, so people can watch it if they did not see it at a festival.
Yes. It's on
So
YouTube.
along-
Oh, what
Go on,
was that?
sorry.
Oh, it's on YouTube and Vimeo. It just got released on YouTube yesterday, and we're really hoping that the good people of YouTube enjoy it. We feel like festivals can be kind of a very specific like insider filmmaker audience, and I feel like we really made this to, I don't know, make people laugh even if they've never been to a film festival or like aren't.
That's a good. I often think that like if a movie will do well outside of the festival world, but it does seem like more things are like weirder things are being theatrically released, like
Yeah.
more graphic movies. So I do think there's more people out there who would like these kind of things that just don't happen to go to festivals.
Yeah, that's the hope. I think that this comes, I wasn't going to festivals while we were making it. I wasn't going anywhere. I was inside. It was COVID. It was pandemic times. I was going to movies, but like it comes from just wanting to entertain people.
And I do have to let you both know that Make Me a Pizza is the second time that YouTube forced me to take a nudity course. So I had to take my second nudity course.
What did you learn? What did they teach
I
you?
learned the first time I took it, it was really weird. They asked me like Joe films this girl Sarah like peeing in the snow and then says like he wants to eat the snow. Is this okay? And then so I put no, and then but they said I picked no for the wrong reason. It was like you can show urination. Urination has nothing to do with Make Me a Pizza, by the way. But you can show urination, but only if it's art or educational. So this time I made sure after I went through, I had to do all the stuff. I wrote that this was art because it's about a short film. They were not happy with the thumbnail, and immediately they replied back though, we reviewed this and no, it stands. So I had to take off the thumbnail I had made.
Oh man!
Wow.
So that was a very long story, but have you had any problems with it actually on anywhere?
Cowards. No, I think I like downplay the problems we've had because I don't really take them very, like, they just kind of seem fun for me. Because I feel like I have such a high threshold at this point, like of things that genuinely bother me. On Vimeo, there have been some trolls. I honestly love the trolls. The problem is if the trolls report you and then get you in trouble. We got kicked off of r/Lacan yesterday on Reddit where I posted it. The post was not up to their standards.
Lacan, like the psychologist?
Lacan like the psychologist. Because while we started with Marxism, we did get into Lacan pretty quickly, not like overtly, but I don't know, Sophie, like I sent you Lacanian theory probably as
I'm sure you did. I can't.
I don't know if
I
you
remember it,
which is fair.
Yeah.
But I was sending it to like our poster designer because it was, I don't know, I wanted everyone to be on board. And I put it out there and people were like starting to engage with it. But most of the things on that subreddit are discussion based. Which is so sad to me. I'm like, where are the Lacan memes? Like, don't they want some entertainment every once in a while? The answer is no. They want a serious discussion of Lacan only. They do not want an absurdist pizza porn satire.
We need to make a new Reddit Lacan that is more enjoyable.
A pizza themed Lacan.
Yeah,
Lacan, yeah.
Weird place. So now I want to know more about your background because I do not know a lot of people, even in the mental health field, who know who Lacan is. How do you even know this person and bring this into your
So Woody actually has the Lacanian formula for fantasy tattooed on his chest. You can see it in the movie.
Ow.
Which the people of Reddit did notice before it got taken down. And so it came from him, the sort of like, oh, I think this is more Lacan But I think that I think like I always I try to kind of reverse engineer ideas that I come up with to like be rooted in something that already exists. I think I feel uncertain if I have an idea and like I'm stoked about it, but it doesn't have some grounding is maybe not the right word, but some like basis in ideology or thought. And I can't like stay there forever because it's not ultimately all that interesting. But it helps my brain orient around it to look to not just other films, even though that's so much a part of it, but like philosophy or even any other form of art to like understand what I'm making in the context of what came before it. Not as any kind of treatise either. I think that there's been a part of this year where it's like, oh, we're the Marxist pizza porn, and like I'm not like a Marxist scholar or anything. Those ideas are interesting to me. Anti-capitalism is interesting to me, but like I'm a filmmaker and I'm telling a story through those lenses and like exploring them. It's not meant to be a treatise or like a manifesto. It's meant to, and so that ultimately became a way into the characters because there were early drafts of this that were like very theory based and were very much them like reading essentially the Reddit threads to each other. And then it was like, no, it's way more fun if they're discovering it for the first time too. Like the dumbest people are talking about because that's like a better way in for me too. I'll be reading stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what this means, and sometimes I need Wikipedia to like, or I need the Lacan for Dummies version to actually understand it, because I'm not trying to become
cryptic.
It's not nobody, but like very few people actually read Lacan. They read people who write about Lacan because he's like intentionally unintelligible. So and I think that it helps me. Like I wish maybe that I had the brain that could process that stuff at a high level, but I like learning it when I'm looking for something specific. It feels like I'm on a scavenger hunt. I'm not just like, oh, I'm going to read this Lacanian analysis. I'm like, I'm reading this because I'm making a pizza porn. And if anything is relevant to the pizza porn that I'm making, I'm going to keep that in my brain. I'm going to forget the rest. And that gives like it gives direction to the journey. So
I think it's really interesting. And I would see this with that. I would watch a lot of times when I first start in a movie, I am just watching it for fun. I'm watching it for the immediate response, the joy, the sad, the whatever it is. And then I can come back, which I think I'm very lucky to be able to do that, have like my viewer mind and then my more attention focused on themes mind. So it's really interesting that some like totally insane short, I can go back and think, oh, Lacan was here.
I mean, you can just watch it for fun. Like we want people to watch it for fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't need you to get all that. I'm only talking about it because you asked, and ask where we have this time to talk about it. But like, I don't. It's not required.
Well, I think that's the best kind of any kind of a genre thing is you can just watch it on surface and just enjoy it, and then maybe there's something underneath it that not everyone will get, and you don't have to get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if you do, then it's a bonus.
Yeah.
By the way, the print or the poster behind Sophie looks like it could have been out of the movie.
It does have a 70s feel to it. It's my aunt's painting, so.
Oh, I love it.
I dig it too.
Yeah.
It's like we said, you were like that all the time. You're just she's never left.
So, Sophie, what did you think the first time you saw the movie with an audience? So, it's one thing to make it, to be in it, and then to see it, with a group of people.
I was so scared. And it was funny because I was sitting next to the other Sophie on set, who was her AD, and she was like, "Oh, are you scared about like people seeing you like naked or in nudity or whatever?" And I was like, "No, I don't care about that. I'm scared. What if my acting is terrible? You know what I mean? Like, that's terrifying. And how is this going to go over?" And it was so, I mean, I don't fully even feel like I remember the first screening because I was just like, ah, but just hearing people like laugh about it and be grossed out, and like really anytime it's played with a live audience, there's such a vocal response like throughout the theater being, and so that was really like rewarding. And then I just felt relieved to have ripped the Band-Aid.
We loved it. It was not just because you guys are here. It was one of our favorite shorts at Buff. And Buff had great shorts. So it wasn't like, it wasn't, it had a lot of competition. There was a lot of good stuff.
How did it play? How was the audience?
Oh, they
were great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was much laughter. It was awesome. And it's nice for audience members to feel that in the space too. I love it. The people love it. And that's part of what makes watching things in the theater good, because you have that shared experience. It was great.
Yeah,
and it was like a midnight block, right? So was it with like horror shorts, or
was it? Yeah, it might the trigger warning block. I think it was.
Nice.
Was it? I can't remember honestly, but
sure.
It was either the trigger warning or
love block.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, because I think it was in the love block, which was earlier in the day, which is a good spot to be in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's cool about the shorts blocks is you have all different types of movies. So, you can have like a serious thing followed by like something that's comedic. And so it is a nice flow. You know what I mean? It's like, you get something completely different. So, and Buff has festivals in general, Buff has it's a vocal audience, not like people are sitting there talking to each other, but they're interacting and laughing when appropriate with what's playing.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys, like all of the horror buffs. I'm curious why you think we've gotten so much horror attention specifically from the horror community, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to know what you think about that.
That's an interesting question, because we're not sticklers for genre on the show. Like, if something's weird or horror adjacent or whatever, we'll talk about it. If we like it, we like it. But that is an interesting question, because I think, especially with the festival world, like Boston Underground Film Festival isn't a horror festival. It's underground, so it's a lot of weird stuff. But I don't know, like outside of that, have you guys like had a lot of horror people like talk about the movie?
I think with horror people, a lot of horror is that escape, right? Horror is so like in your face and intense that you really can the world is now gone. I'm not thinking about real relationships. I'm not thinking about these things now. And this movie completely removes you from reality. And it's a good feeling. So as a horror person, I think a lot of times there are people that they strictly watch like a particular horror and they stick with that. And that's cool. But I think by and large, horror people, they just want that like really intense entertainment, that really like visceral. You can like think about how it feels to be in pizza. There's a lot of things like that. It's this very sensory kind of experience. So that's my thought.
What was along that same kind of question? What was the thought process? Like, where do we submit this short film?
We didn't think it was a horror film. The first time that like a horror specific festival asked us to submit, because at first we weren't submitting to horror festivals, but we premiered at South by, and we were in their midnight short section, which was almost entirely horror shorts.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember, maybe there were like one or two that also weren't really, but even those were like spooky or like, yeah, they all had some sort of like bodily harm caused in them. And some of them are really dark too. Some of them are like about sort of dark, deep traumas, and then we were like, oh no, I can't believe they're gonna play. I feel like I've been next to you, Sophie, in other screenings where they play like a traumatic, horrible short, and I'm like, they're gonna play ours next. They're gonna play ours next. They're gonna like I'm just
It's like a playlist where you have to have the balance of like, all right, we've just devastated everybody. Now let's laugh.
But I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want. It's what's so weird about short blogs, because suddenly the shorts are commenting on each other, even though like now I will know some people that we're playing with, but I don't want to comment with. Yes, we were being absurdist, but I'm not trying to make light of someone's like struggles that led them to make a film.
Right.
I think there's kind of also, now that we're talking about this a little bit more, there's like you have horror films that are creature based as well, and this is kind of has this creature element to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a interesting. Dave Deadman, weird and smart and silly is fun. That's why a lot of horror fans are John Waters fans.
And we were big John Waters fans. John Waters was a big inspiration. Cronenberg was a big inspiration. Verhoeven was a big inspiration. Like, I'm a big genre fan. Like, I love genre. But what's funny about the horror stuff too is I am such a baby when it comes to horror. Like, I can't handle horror, not because I don't respect it, because I take films really seriously. I cannot separate reality from imagined spaces, and like that's why I like making films, and that's why I like watching them. And with horror, that just ends up feeling like I'm putting myself through suffering, because it just ends up being like painful and upsetting, and not in a fun roller coaster way, but in a way that like ruins the next couple like days or whatever of my life. And so I just have to be like very careful with my brain around horror. And yeah, I've sat in blocks that we were playing and like covering my eye during people's films, and had to literally ask them like, what happens at the end, because I knew that the scare was coming, and I didn't want that in my brain. Like, I can't. I'm very sensitive to it, but I respect it a lot. And so I think that this might come, some of the same language of those like exploitation, absurdist, gonzo stuff is there. And we're just grateful that the horror community has been so accepting.
Yeah, it is a good question, Sophie asked. So, hope there's a strong crossover from horror films to generally weird films. The strangeness, the wild creativity is a major component of horror's appeal. As such, we appreciate other media which contains that element.
Your audience is so smart.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
it's why they're watching here. Sophie, are you a horror fan?
I love horror. Yeah.
Good. So we don't have to kick you off the show then.
No. Keep me here.
I'm curious, what are some of your horrors you like? I'm not a person that asks what's your favorite. I'm not good at what's your favorite. I think that's really on the spot. What are some of the horror films you do like?
I love like Julia Ducournau. Like, I love Raw. I think that's an amazing movie. I get really excited. Well, but I don't know, because then I also love like a campy slasher. I mean, I think what's so cool about horror, and specifically right now, is you can kind of do anything in it. Like, it doesn't feel like one genre. It actually feels like you could have a love story, you can have action, you could have like a really slow, like mumblecore horror feeling. So I was talking to a friend about it, because she was like, God, I think I'd be bored if I wrote like only horror movies. And I was like, I think I could happily do only horror movies, because you could just do a different version of it every time. But I gotta say, like, I love the French body horror girls, like watching The Substance this year was so fun.
So good.
That was a movie I was kind of thinking about when I mentioned like weirder stuff and more graphic stuff plays theatrically now. Plus, it's like a big budget and big actors in it.
Yeah.
And, I know some people have a problem with the last
Ugly
act
Stepsister.
of it. I personally love it, but it is like really insane. And to think that it was up for Oscars, a movie like that is pretty awesome to me.
The Ugly Stepsister is in the festival circuit right now.
Okay.
Freaking.
I want to see that. I think it's playing at a festival I'm going to soon, and I'm trying to see.
Definite
played,
body horror.
Yes.
It's like it's body horror.
So be
It's
prepared.
sad. It's gross. It's beautiful. It's beautifully shot. My highest recommend on that one. It's
Cool.
excellent.
And by the way, I did look it up, and you guys did play during the "Love to Love You Maybe" short block, so
Okay.
it was the love feature, and that was Saturday at 2:00.
We like. I like being in the love block.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
it was great.
I like being in the weird love block.
Right,
Um,
right.
Definitely a weird love.
That is the
Well,
way.
because sometimes I think we get just put in horror because there aren't enough sex films, so they just are like, oh, violence and sex, and then it becomes weird when you're like, wait, no, we've
There's
been
no
programmed
violence,
in a
yeah.
way that makes it seem violent. Like it'll start because it played after a violent film, and you're like, oh, the themes are similar. And we're like, no, this is like having a really nice time.
So what was used, Sophie and Talia, for the cheese, or kind of more like grease near the end? Not to spoil, make me a pizza. But...
A lot of Elmer's glue for the
That's
cheese.
wild.
But we did have some real cheese. We had real marinara, and I honestly don't remember what the grease was.
What was the grease?
Was it grease?
No, not enough grease. I think it might have
Big
just
bad of
like
grease.
food coloring. I think it was just food colored correctly, like water or
Like
Oh,
oil,
yeah.
maybe?
oil. Yeah, we have to ask Asia Cataldo was our effects person, and I've actually never been asked what the grease was. And I forget. It was a while ago. It was yeah.
I'm curious about the glue. That sounds difficult.
Well, it was so sweet because Talia got me and Woody these like fluffy red bathrobes to wear in between takes, and they had our names on them, and it was like such a thoughtful like set gift. And then obviously or not obviously because we didn't think about it, but then we get there and we're within like one or two takes, the bathrobes are just like covered in glue. I don't know what, Talia got it out somehow.
Like
how did
months later.
Yeah, how did you
Wow.
do that?
So the glue is basically TikTok slime. Like if you're aware of the slime craze.
I used to, when I was a kid, slime was big. You could
Yeah.
buy it in the gumball machine.
Right, but you can make it with
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did it in science
Elmer's
class,
glue
too.
and like a
Yeah.
starter. So that's what that was. And yeah, it was because you can't put hot cheese on people.
You can, but it's probably
Yeah,
not
we might
fun.
frown on that.
No. Again, we want everyone to be having a good time. This is not about torture. And it was great until it got stuck on natural or unnatural fibers. So like the fibers of the robe or the fibers of Woody's hair.
Woody kept being like, "Don't touch my hair."
And he was so right, and we were ignoring him
Yeah.
because we were like, okay, we won't get it in your hair. And then
Just throw some in there.
and then it's like I think the shot is in the movie, so honestly it ended up being great because it's like dripping from his hair. But he spent 2 hours in the shower trying to get it out, and what he used to get it out was olive oil, which led to his hair looking great the next day on set. And so I used the same method to get it out of the bathrobes.
Oh, good.
Olive oil and like a fork or a comb to like grate it out of there.
Wow.
And I mean, they were just sitting in like a plastic bag for months, haunting me. And I was like, I have to give them the robes. Like, I have to clean the robes. I got them this gift. They got to wear it for like 4 hours and then never again. I need to clean the robes. And you can't. Yeah. And I don't know. Hopefully you enjoy the robe. I wanted them to feel like porn stars in custom robes.
Yeah.
I love the robe. I wear it at home.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For your acting in the movie, Sophie, like, did you watch anything for inspiration? Like, this is the kind of style that Talia wants me to go for.
We watched yeah, Talia had a whole list of movies. I remember watching some Cronenberg, and then I remember there was something that I saw separately, this black and white film called Lord Love a Duck. And there's this scene where her and her dad are buying, the lead and her dad are buying sweaters. And she's just like throwing cashmere sweaters and saying the names of the colors. And it's all like perfect peach and these weird, and the scene gets like more and more manic and more like sexual between her and her dad. It's really wild. It's a great movie if you ever get a chance to see it. But
What is it
that was
called?
one. Lord Love a Duck. And yeah, what else? I'm trying to think.
Remember Ball of Fire, the scene from Ball of Fire?
Yes. Yeah. That was great.
With Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck, and it's like the exact dynamic where like Gary Cooper is like kind of a dumb guy who like doesn't get it because he's been cooped up. I'm literally like looking at the Letterboxd description because I'm so bad at remembering the descriptions of these things. But it's like all of these men live in a house and they're all these academics and he's the youngest one among them. And then Barbara Stanwyck comes in like this tornado and they all like don't know what to do with themselves, and her just very directness and her like sexual energy. And so, but she wants Gary Cooper, but Gary Cooper like has no idea what to do with that. And her just sort of taking control over the situation is really fun. And there's this one scene where she's like clearly coming on to him and he just doesn't get it. And because they're both just such like, they're just playing it so big and so over the top and so fun. Like it's just so much fun to watch.
But I will say something that I think was so cool about the script that Talia and Woody wrote was that all of the references were helpful in addition, but I felt like the tone was just clear on the page, you know, and that's not always the case. Like sometimes you read something and it's hard to see it or get the feel for it, and then you need to ask for references and try to kind of get an understanding. And I feel like it really just kind of popped out off the page. Like I felt like, oh yeah, I see what they're going for here. So that's cool. I think that can be hard to do.
Yeah. How did you actually film it? Because, you know, it feels like it's on video or something. So was that like, I don't know, you just explain how you filmed it, I guess.
Yeah, the beginning and the end, like the dialogue. I love shooting on film, but I didn't want to shoot a comedy with this much dialogue in indie budgets or indie short films budgetary access to limited film. Like I just thought that was not maybe I would have done it, but I liked the way we chose to do it, which is on a broadcast tube camera from the 80s, which was this like beast of a camera that just made it look the way we wanted to look.
It looks great because
in camera, that's like barely any color correction on that. That is what it looked like. Wow. And people are like, did you put like what effect did you use? And I'm like, and the camera was so cheap to rent too.
Wow. Probably not a lot of people renting it.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly used for parties because you can do a live feed to a TV.
Oh, that's kind of cool, yeah.
So people like the kind of, you know, if you've ever seen like a stack of TVs that are all playing a live image at a party or something. So, and like musicians will use them a lot because it gives a cool vibe to like live concert recording. Yeah. And then the rest of it was filmed on 16 millimeter film. Yeah, I like to get the looks in camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you have to use it sometimes, but like you can usually tell if someone puts like a filter on something to make it look like it's from an old TV.
Yeah, because it's not as random because it'll have a repeating cycle. Like the colors will wig out or whatever. There'll be artifacting of the image, but it'll happen like in the same way every time. It's not as random as when it's truly just the tubes reacting to light.
Yeah. Is
That is
it?
something. Once I notice that loop, then I'm really notice that loop. It's really disruptive.
And I mean, like, not if something is great, but I just feel like it's and so there's that filmmaker thing of like, oh, if they're paying attention to that, we haven't done our job. But it's also like you're giving yourself an extra hurdle to have to jump, and you have to jump so many hurdles when you're trying to keep people's attention in 2025 that, like, why would you add another one? Like, it's like you're putting something in your own way of someone just disappearing into the world.
Is there any difficulties then for editing when you film that way? You have to take it all, I guess, and transfer it digitally? Or?
Well, yeah, that's part of the process. Like, we did not edit the film on film. We scanned it to 2K. With the tube camera, it was recorded to an external recorder, and it was recorded in 1080, and then we had to up-res it to 2K to match the film stuff. But that was fine because it was so degraded anyway that we didn't have any issues up-resing it. We were worried when we had to up-res it that it would like degrade it so much, but because, yeah, I mean, its native resolution is 480, I guess. And so we're already up-resing it to 1080 and then 2K, but like it's not really noticeable. And you know, we've played it on, you saw it on a big screen. We've played it on
it looked great. Sophie, when you're filming on actual film, is there any added pressure? You know, because like you know, do you think about that? Like the film costs more money. You can't take unlimited shots.
I do think about it, but this was also my first and I think only time filming on real film. So yeah, it was exciting. I think I thought about it at first, but then we're just like in the scene and in the day, and there's also just the added pressure of like, we only have so much time. So actually maybe it doesn't add any more pressure because there's already pressure,
Yeah, I did a movie that was shot in 16 millimeter, and I didn't think about it until I was in the room that had the actual film, and then I was like, oh, like I have to make sure I know what I'm doing here.
Like one day I would love to work on something where you just have the luxury of as much time as you want. There's not pressure to get the shot and move on, but that is not the indie world.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's not 59 takes or something. Yeah. Is there a trailer for Make Me a Pizza? The thing is, you can watch the film, Dave. It's on YouTube.
You can watch the film on YouTube. We have clips, but and I think you have the folder of our clips, but we do not have a trailer.
Yeah,
we found that clips were more.
Yeah, I agree.
Fun
for a short. I think it's hard sometimes to do a trailer.
Yeah. We're out here doing our best. The trailer was like one of those things that just kept being at. We were like, we and I don't know, you didn't get to see it, but we had this whole campaign for this film. Like, we've taken additional promo photos. That was Sophie's.
I like photos. Yeah, that works.
So we designed. We would give out Parmesan and red pepper packets that had
that's classic. I love that
information on it. They were like business cards.
That's great.
Which I really liked because I would get kind of awkward in these situations, and people would be like, "Oh my god, it's great to meet you," or "What are you here with?" And it just felt like I was repeating myself over and over again. Or it was nice to it was a nice way to end a conversation and be like, and here is a tangible item.
Yeah.
Now the conversation is over. Now I have given you this thing. Or if I like talked to someone earlier and then wanted to talk to them again, it was a great way to be like, oh, did I give you this? Like, it ended up being a social condiment. It added zest to the social situations. And then Sophie designed these great like drawings inspired by the pizza movie that we turned into stickers that are great. and those were fun. We had little like stickers of every character, little trading cards. So we did all of that, and we did not do it. We were doing that and not a trailer. So
No, I like that stuff.
you were-
There was a short at Buff that they had like a takeout menu was instead of a trading instead of a flyer, and instead of like it listed like the director. I don't know. It was really smart.
Wait,
It was cool.
was
So I
that
like that kind of
Belly
stuff.
Belly?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I know Lauren Hayes, who is the star of that and the writer and producer.
Oh, nice.
Social
Condiment.
condiment.
That's
Yeah,
Band-Aid.
And a friend of mine, Sam Fox, recommended the movie to me. And then I'm sometimes bad with email. And then I was like, oh, this is the movie that Sam had mentioned. And I was like, oh, I love this. We have to make sure to get you guys on.
Yeah, Sam is great. And definitely was like, I mean, I met Sam at Film Quest a couple years ago, and I just feel like Sam is killing it in the genre short space and just like always making something insane and having a lot of fun with it. And so that was definitely on my mind when we got to go out with this, was being insane and having fun with it.
Sophie, had you done a lot of festivals before Make Me a Pizza?
I don't think so. I had done some. I had done 2 for a short that I wrote and acted in and was directed by a good friend of mine who we had a theater company together. And then we were like, hey, let's, try a movie. And that was a couple of years ago. And that was kind of both of our first foray into film. But then otherwise, no. It was like thrown into South by, which was exciting.
Yeah, it's a huge one to be like kind of your first thing.
Yeah,
Talia had mentioned how you do have this theater background, so I'm really curious about that.
I think it was really helpful for this project because, I mean, it is like one big long scene for the first half, But yeah, I mean, I did theater as a kid, like only at school. Never, my parents were not like, they were very like anti-stage parent. They weren't trying to put me into anything that wasn't just like doing the school production of Midsummer Night's Dream or whatever. And then I did it in college. And then when I was living in Chicago, I was part of the kind of like DIY underground, like storefront theater scene there. And yeah, me and one of my good friends from college, he started this site-specific theater company, and we were putting on plays in like the, DIY punk house basement or someone's apartment or the warehouse or the whatever, and it was fun.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I miss it. That was like a really fun phase of life. And now he's in New York and I'm in LA. I think we'll collaborate again on something like that. Okay.
Would you ever go back to the pizza world here?
Yeah, I would.
There is a pizza feature in the works.
There is. Oh, really?
Partially because people, I think one person literally said to me, it felt like a challenge. There's not a feature of this, is there?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, watch me. And the idea came pretty naturally, because what happens after pizza sex? It's a question for the
babies.
A pizza baby.
Oh, nice.
The birds and the bees and the, I don't know. I wanted to say birds and the bees and the cheese, and I'm saying it anyway, but I cringe. I'm like, as I say that, but we're workshopping it, okay? But yes, there is
It's like a litter of pizza rolls.
Pizza feature involving the natural bundle of pizza joy. And it does actually go more into the horror world, which feels sort of or like just surreal insane chaos. And yeah, there are days when I'm like, more pizza, but I think that it would be less about pizza, and it's just like using this as the way in to telling to building this kind of other world, which some of my favorite things do. It's like pizza is the Trojan horse. Maybe when the pizza feature comes out, we won't get kicked off of r/Lacan.
I'm just imagining this little pizza baby in the fetal stage and developing, like this bun in the oven.
Exactly. And I think that there's like it's kind of the immaculate pizza conception too. Like it's the pizza goddess's desire to have flesh out in the world is naturally realized by the pizza baby. So look out for that. Follow us on Instagram.
I'm ready
My
now.
imagination is just
Well,
like,
we try to make me a pizza baby.
So Instagram
liking
the pizza movie.
There's so many ideas that just spring to mind thinking about the pizza baby. Does the pizza baby become a pizza toddler? Like, where does pizza baby go to school? We don't know.
See, Annabelle, we are starting a franchise right here.
And then eventually they get blasted to space.
Yeah.
Panzerati, make me a pizza too.
It's like make me a pizza baby, make me a pizza babies, make me a pizza babies versus pasta.
Always something. There's always this one in space.
Maybe pizza in space.
There's
I think
usually
that's
one
part
that's
3. I think when
I think it's 4.
to shoot them out in the space.
Wow, I didn't know I was gonna get to have a brainstorm.
I would love to talk about it.
Yeah. We haven't even started into pizza peels yet, we're just getting started.
Yeah, that little wood thing that you put in the oven.
That you slide the pizza out of the oven with.
That's what
like
it's
the
called?
big paddle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Does everyone know that but me?
Yeah. Troy and I are half Italian. So
that's our excuse.
Oh, okay. That's great. I didn't know that was called a peel.
See, now you can be impress everybody at the pizzeria.
Yeah,
that's a mighty fine peel you have.
That's how the pizza baby's born. They're pulled out with the
that's so good.
And if we're going horror, you could definitely do some damage with it.
Ooh, that's so fun.
Make some evil peels and stuff. Yeah.
I love this.
Pizza baby suffering as a preemie. It's got a little marinara pipeline.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm all about this.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone here is excited about this.
Yes.
There's just natural excitement around it.
So what would you say the benefits are of going to a festival? Of playing at the festival and actually being at them? Or maybe there aren't. I don't know.
Or the disadvantage.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. So what Sophie said.
I had a really good time whenever we went, and you meet great people. And I think the fun thing about doing a short and screening at a festival is you see a bunch of other stuff. You know, and you meet a lot of people that are maybe in a similar place in their career as you. Because then I was thinking wow, if you go to a festival with a feature, I wonder if it's not lonely, but it's just about your movie versus our blocks. It's about everybody's, and then you're all hanging out. So I feel like the benefit is it's a great time, but obviously there are more practical other benefits.
Well, I think that's a good thing though, just to have a fun.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the only times you're going to see, especially a short film, on a big screen with a bunch of people.
Exactly. And I do think after the I still have a few more, but after the year of going to a zillion of them, that the biggest benefit is that you are having a good time and you are meeting great people. And that's like the most important benefit, because all of the other benefits that come from them kind of exist beyond the festival itself.
Okay.
Like it will always be a resume item to have gone to that festival. And yes, some of the festivals have these more organized networking opportunities that we took advantage of, where you go to meet this person and they're at that festival, or you meet them afterwards, and they're work conferences, and so you can make those connections there, and that's great. But it is really about like building community and sharing your work. And it's hard. There's like a compartmentalization that has to go on of like, okay, I'm here to have a good time. That's not a bad thing. I just also have to dedicate time to practically like doing the follow-up work to make this help my career. Because I think some people go and think that it's just like a one-stop shot to a career, and nothing is a one-stop shot to a career in film anymore. Or very rarely, it happens, but everything, it's just like laying the groundwork and getting to share your work with people. Like having people watch it is amazing. It's the best thing in the universe. I never get tired of it.
And then what was the decision to put the short on YouTube? Because there's a few different platforms, you could go with shorts, but not as many as a feature. And then sometimes I see shorts and they don't go anywhere. If you're not at the festival, you just don't. That's the end of them.
Well, we premiered with Vimeo staff picks, which was like
I should say just online as opposed to YouTube,
which was like a long time goal of mine. Mm-hmm. And the director's notes is great, and I had films on there, and yeah, I think it's weird. It's weird right now. Like I don't think that shorts are being seen online at the degree that I wish they were. There might be like an oversaturation of things right now. There are some other potential platforms that we're talking to. There were some other routes that like didn't end up happening that we were excited about. Like there was a world in which we were like going to play theatrically for a minute. There was a world in which we were going to get a physical media release. But because it's a short, those were always paired with features. And so like that, it wasn't really up to us. We were kind of like happy to be there. And we're just like grateful for the opportunity. And so it didn't really have the ability to have any leverage. But I mean, that would still be great. I don't know. I've seen people like package shorts when they make a feature and they put it like on that, maybe a physical media release when I make a feature. But I mean, we made this for like when I first, making it and screening it in theaters was like so much fun. But I also think this is the kind of thing that I love when people are like, yeah, I watched this with my friends. We ordered pizza. And then I was like, we should watch Make Me a Pizza. Or our cinematographer, Vito, was telling me that she had been getting texts from friends who were like, I watched it with my partner, and then we had a great night after. Yes, like that is the best thing ever. Like I'm so happy. So I think that it going out into the world and just being enjoyed by people in all these strange ways is kind of ideal. I also love we've played at a few like parties, and we're having a party soon in LA where we're screening it, and I love when people like come in and out of a screening of it and just stop and they're like, whoa, what's that? What is going on? Like the kind of lo-fi, not precious, chaotic, like everyone's just in and out watching it vibe of it is really fun to me. So I don't know. I'm excited for it to be online, and maybe someone finds it and in a couple of years and thinks it's hilarious. Like it's just to live there and be enjoyed by people.
Do you have a preference, like which link I share? Because I'll put it on the website if you want. I'll embed it on the website.
We want to share the YouTube right now, just because I want that one to get some traction, because it's a different audience. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Maybe we're shadow banned because of the nudity. Maybe
Yeah, I always
Keep
think
that
that
on the down low.
for other stuff. I
maybe
don't
we've
know.
been getting downvoted. Yeah, but yeah, the YouTube, because that's the one that we like, that times out nicely with us being on here because it just came out yesterday on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
The Vimeo's been up for a minute.
Yeah, and of course I just shared the Vimeo in the chat. But when we after the show, I'll put the YouTube link up on the website.
Yeah, no, I mean, Vimeo's amazing. Like, you know, like career goal to be a staff pick, and that definitely is the one that I feel like my friends were excited about. But I want, you know, we want to get beyond.
Yeah, you just want people to see it. Yeah, a lot of people to see it.
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah,
because we want to bring pizza and joy into the world.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's needed.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you. I agree.
When you were saying about theatrical, like I'm not the person to. I can't do this, but that did give me an idea that that's an interesting, almost like the short blocks themselves. Like they could be put out, you know, like a feature length, like an hour and a half block of shorts. Someone should test that and see how that plays.
Yeah.
Sundance,
you know, as opposed to an anthology where they're an actual movie connected. You know what I mean? Just like a block of a short film.
They do that. Sundance does that, and then they'll do the Academy shorts. We'll get
a. Yeah, I've seen at AMC when they do the Academy, and actually, I've been to the Academy ones at AMC, and there's a lot of people there.
Yeah, no, it's well attended, but it's more niche. But you're right, because like the shorts blocks at festivals are so well attended, and so you'd think, but I think it has to be around a specific. There has to be some organization that's putting it on. You know, sometimes they'll play before features, but it's tough to find that audience.
Yeah, we see so many cool shorts. Someone out there should take that and just test it and see if it would work. Like collect a bunch of cool shorts, horror ones, whatever the topic would be, and see and try to get them in a theater, even if it's like a short run, and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And if it goes well, then they can give us a cut. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The making money off of it is like, I'm not. That was never the goal. It was just nice when it happened. We got, you know, some screening fees, some like prize money for awards. We were like, wow.
Oh, that's cool. Did you get any cool? Oh, well, you do have a cool trophy coming from Buff.
I do. So I'm so excited for the Buff one. They make me unreasonably happy. Like I love a physical. I mean, it's the social condiments. I have my awards like right next to me on a shelf. We got a homemade one, like a homemade ceramic lens from Chicago Underground.
Really?
That's awesome.
That one is really cool. Now I'm like scooching over. The one we got from Santa Fe International Film Festival is gorgeous. It's this like I know I can't
show us.
I know I can't. This is so silly. I'm not doing this to like brag. I'm doing this.
No,
that's okay. That's
show
fine.
you how beautiful these art pieces are.
Yeah. Oh, that is cool.
I definitely dig that. Yeah.
Like, look at this. This is like this beautiful, very Santa Fe metallic art thing.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And then I have to show the Chicago one because I showed that one. These like custom art pieces.
Oh my god, I love that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Lens. Sorry, I can't show yours off, Buff. We could find a picture of it online. But yeah, like someone could literally give me a plastic toy and tell me it was the award, or even just like tell me it was my thing. I like physical objects. But Sophie and Woody won an award at Brooklyn Horror Film Festival.
We love Brooklyn Horror Film Festival.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
There is no physical manifestation of that award. Not to throw Brooklyn Horror under the bus. We love Brooklyn. We love Brooklyn Horror.
Yeah, that's a great venue too. The theater itself is great.
Yeah. I've heard it's a really good time. I didn't get
you didn't get to go. Yeah,
but our producer went. Yeah, they won best performances.
Well, congratulations.
Great, yeah.
Well
You're very
deserved.
welcome. They should send you like a little pizza of some kind or something.
Yeah.
A ceramic pepperoni or something.
A t-shirt.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah. The one of the like, I won best performance at Brooklyn Horror, and all I got was
Is
a
this t-shirt?
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea for someone
Yeah,
out there.
actually, that is a really good merch idea.
Yeah.
And all I got were these laurels that I can put on a still.
Don't forget to use a social condiment.
Condiment.
There we go.
Oh. Nice.
So I put up I forgot already. Oh, here we go. The pizza movie. So I'm glad. Is that everywhere at all the different socials? The social, is it all the pizza movie at all of them? So it's on Instagram. Is what social media platforms are you on?
The pizza movie is only on Instagram.
Oh, it's only on Instagram. Okay.
Yes. It is not on. I mean, I am on others. Sophie, I don't know what other ones you're on, but our Instagram is our main one. Maybe we'll get a Twitter or a Blue Sky or whatever people are doing then when we make the feature. But for now, we're an image based.
That's true.
Media maker. There's like a page on my website that is for.
Yeah, I found that earlier.
The movie, which I think is taliashaylevin.com/the pizza movie.
Mm-hmm.
When we bring back our awards.
Yay! Wait, I can't see it. It's
first winners.
Troy made those. It's a little Boris Karloff.
Yeah,
Karloff.
Karloff.
That's so cool. Wait, this just becomes like trinket show and tell.
Exactly. Yeah.
We love a good trinket.
Yep.
It's happened before on the show.
Oh yeah. Show and tell a lot. Yep.
Which is hard for the podcast, but it is a video podcast.
Exactly,
so hopefully someone is watching.
Yeah, it was just audio up until
showing off their like toy collection.
Oh yeah,
Now
we've had so many of those.
Oh yeah, well Neal, you've got a great display behind you.
Oh well, thank you. I actually I keep my awards up here too, but I don't want to say anything. But yeah, we got awards. We got I don't know, all kinds of stuff back here. Yeah, the figurines. Before when we were just audio, I had no place to show them. But now since a video show, I could put them up behind me. And
now you're
show off
showing
all
it
this
off.
goofy stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You got to show off.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, I don't want to show off my stuff, but yeah, it's Annabelle will get mad at me.
Annabelle is like,
dude,
what do you have to show off, Annabelle? There's a story behind that tapestry that's behind you, or just wallpaper? I don't know.
It is no story other than I need something behind me. That's the story, and this looked pretty cool. It didn't seem like something I'd seen other places. So that's my story.
It looks pretty cool.
Thank you.
So the feature is that the next thing you're working on?
Yeah, that, and I'm also writing a different feature, sci-fi feature, where emotions are commodified as a source of renewable energy.
Interesting.
I like it.
And I've always wanted to make a sci-fi epic. That's my sort of long-term and short-term goal, depending on when it makes sense. So that's like the big. I mean, I always want to keep building worlds, and whether that's Pizza World or big sci-fi world doesn't matter so much. But yeah, like I want to keep creating big worlds. So I'm writing that feature, and then Pizza Feature 2. Like we're kind of putting them out into the world simultaneously in terms of like trying to get traction on them and seeing which one either the world tells us it wants or we just get tired of not having made and decide to make anyway, regardless of being granted the permission or opportunities that help make it easier. It's like either it becomes a little easier or it's a little harder, but gonna make the feature one way or another.
You mentioned sci-fi, so go ahead, Troy.
No, I said we're here for both. So
absolutely.
Thank you so
much. You mentioned sci-fi, so I'm curious because you'd said you're not really this horror person, and this is definitely like you were saying, like it came up about the idea of how horror has kind of like its own subgenres.
Yeah.
Like sci-fi feel. So there's this definite sci-fi crossover with horror.
Yeah.
And it sounds like maybe you're more in the sci-fi.
Well, yeah, I think I'm more in the sci-fi, but I also sometimes I think it's fantasy. Like I actually think that pizza technically fits, if we're going to put it in a genre, the fantasy genre. Mm-hmm. But I think that what I mean by fantasy is not necessarily like swords and sandals or like medieval, which I love, but just like it's surreal or speculative or just like being in another world, which can be tethered to science but doesn't have to be, and sometimes has elements of horror but doesn't have to, and horror and intensity. And for me it's just world building, like that's the draw, and world building with like a practical undercurrent to it, like tangible stuff. So that's why I don't like when it's too sci-fi and like too effects driven, and with good characters in it. So I don't know. I mean, that was what was interesting about pizza too, because trying to put it into genres and ultimately just being like, it can be whatever genre you want it to be if you're going to play it.
That's what I was like about festivals too. They're not so much like, this is X genre, this is blah blah blah. It's like it's just usually it's a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah, and even this was fun at the I think it was at Santa Fe. Yes, at Santa Fe Film Festival, we won Best Experimental Film because that is a like traditional Oscar qualifying big film festival with a lot of very straightforward films, and ours was experimental. At the Chicago Underground Film Festival, we won Best Narrative Film because that is a film festival with mostly films that are not narrative and are incredibly experimental, and ours was considered narrative.
Oh, this is one that makes the most sense.
So we're like, we make too much sense for the underground. We make not enough sense for the traditional, and we're like, whatever, as long as you watch it. Like,
call it whatever you want.
Which is an incredible festival. And it's funny because there are so many great underground festivals, and they all have very different things. Chicago is like true video art. Like there are films there that have zero dialogue and like zero plot and are just images, and some of them are extraordinary. And I really don't think a lot of that stuff gets seen anywhere else. And Chicago just has such a great community for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was like, I'm sorry we had dialogue. I'm sorry there was a oh no.
We ruined this movie with talking.
This is not the audience.
You crazy kids and your talkies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty cool for you to be the movie that like disrupts. It's like you come in like, here's horror, I'm disrupting it for humor. Like here's this really heavy artsy place, disruption. So you fit and you are. I think you're accomplishing what you want. You come on the scene and you entertain in a way other things aren't. There's nothing wrong with those films, but you're offering something different.
That's the hope.
Sophie, are you working on anything currently?
I am. A friend and I are writing like a comedy murder mystery that's getting more slapstick and gonzo by the second. So that's been really fun. And then my fiance wrote a horror film that's more of kind of a slow family satire about gender. And then I've got a couple shorts that I'm either helping, write and produce, or just coming on to act. Someone saw the Pizza Movie and is putting me in their short where I play like a Mad Max warlord
Oh, wow.
character.
Awesome.
And I
That's
was
the
like,
best.
I love that's what you got.
Yeah.
Because I have always wanted to do that. So
Amazing.
Well, congratulations. That's very cool.
It was posted. Awesome.
Yeah, I will.
For all these projects, you guys are in some really great stuff. This really high imagination things. It's fantastic.
Glad.
So-
thanks for supporting it.
Yeah. And we really did love it. And we posted the link here in the chat. I'll post it on the website. I really want people to go watch Make Me a Pizza. It's a really fun movie. And I agree. I think you should watch it if you can with like people. Watch it with like a group of friends. Even if you have to do it virtually, everyone get together and watch it, because I think it's fun to interact while you're watching it. Or watch it alone and maybe enjoy it in a totally different way. However you want to enjoy it.
I was going to say, don't be like my friend who started watching it at work and then had to like hide under her desk and was like laughing and also like trying to make sure no one came in.
Yes, don't watch it at work. Don't watch it at a coffee shop. Don't watch it at home if you have children.
When I was in a physical rehab, recovering from surgery, I remember I was watching a friend of mine sent me their film. And so it was a retirement. It was like for older people. I was the only person there for rehab. It was all people in their 90s. And then, so I started watching it, and it was like all this nudity. And I was like, oh shit, I got to go sit in the corner here. I don't want anyone to see what the hell I'm watching, and make sure I had my earphones on. And so it'd be the same way with Make Me a Pizza.
The old dudes probably would have dug it, though.
Yeah.
They needed some
my roommate definitely would have. Fred definitely watched tonight. I bought a frozen pizza for dinner, so everything comes full circle. There you go.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, this has been great. We'll love to have you back sometime.
Thank you guys so much.
This is awesome. Thanks so much,
guys. Really fun.
And follow the Pizza Movie on Instagram. Go watch Make Me a Pizza on YouTube or Vimeo, wherever it is, at a festival if you get a chance. Yep. And we'll talk to you both soon.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
That was good. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
So we're going to have Rick Chandler on in a little bit. This worked out. Anyway, yeah, we'll have Rick Chandler on soon.
Very cool.
His new movie is going to be premiering at Strange Maynard.
Oh. Another up-and-coming New England, I believe.
Yes, New England-based.
Nice.
The one-day event, 5 hours of cool shorts.
Nice.
And this will be making its world premiere. So he made it. He had his the last premiere of his previous short film was Dead of Winter, and the new one will be at Strange Maynard.
Excellent. So we've got a little moment for people to.
We've got about 10 minutes before that. I'm just gonna do something real quick. You can step up, but I need a special thanks here to folks who helped pay for 2 more years of the unlimited without your head host. So the site can go on here. Let's see. Thank you to Melody K, one of our favorites. Shannon Thompson, Dana Nofke.
Yeah.
John Devlin, Blood Pact Films.
Cool. It's an awesome logo.
I like it too.
Keisha Buchanan, Scott Bradley.
God, wow. Excellent.
Adam Newman, Lisa Oviez.
She's great. This is some really stellar folks.
And a special thanks to Buried Alive Film Festival, who went above and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
Awesome. Love those people are all fantastic. Even before the money, they're fantastic.
Yeah. And it made me. We need to get to Atlanta here because a lot of nice Atlanta folks. So.
Oh, okay.
Atlanta folks.
All right, so we're gonna play some stuff here. I've got a few things lined up. and we'll be back with Rick Chandler in about 7 minutes.
All right.
Okay.
Very good.
So first up, Ed Kemper, which we're going to be doing a special show tomorrow at 6. Everyone can do it at 6 p.m. So
Will it be a live show?
Live show.
Nice. Cool. All right.
Hello, Santa Cruz Police Department.
Malone speaking. I'm all finished now.
Hello?
Anybody there?
There's sunshine in this endless jungle.
And this apparently was a grisly pattern set in the death of a girl whose body parts were found scattered from here in Santa Cruz to all over the state.
Hey there! Kind of out here all by yourself, aren't you? You know, I don't want to scare you or anything, but you know, some pretty horrible things have been happening. I don't like the idea of leaving you out here like this.
There's something seriously wrong with him. I mean, I feel guilty as his mother, but he's just not right.
Hey, Ma. I hope you're happy now. I killed Grandma and Grandpa. To grow and develop as human beings, we must embrace and study what we've done.
You're special. One day, your ma and the whole world will know that.
What are those?
Oh, just some pictures. Just me and some friends.
You got friends.
The hell, Mom?
What are you doing in there?
Sleeping. All I want is for you to be proud of me. Bye now. Don't forget me.
What's troubling you?
My daughter. Haven't seen you at service recently.
I've not been well.
You have lost a husband and a father. But as family, we must set an example.
For all have sinned. We are conceived, born into this fallen world. We were chosen.
I know that work has been hard of late.
But we must remember, we cannot always have bright, shining sun.
John.
There will be periods of darkness and light.
What is this?
It seems to have a taste of a foul man.
Tell me why I'm sick.
It was the beast. It ripped him apart.
You can't kill a youth fool!
So it was real?
I don't know, but they believe it's real.
Kom da, Frank. Det er middag.
Kom og fortell. Var det en bra date?
Han er kjekk. Litt genert, men på en sånn sjarmerende måte.
Hva er det du gjør?
Jeg teller antall kalorier jeg har drukket.
Så du er en kontrollfri?
Nei. Kunne du tenkt å bli med hjem?
Bor du her alene?
Det har hun.
Du sa du hadde en hund. Ikke et fucking menneske i en hundedrakt.
Det er veldig viktig at du behandler han som en hund. Ikke som et menneske.
Verden er et grusomt sted. Jeg prøver å bli vant til det, men kanskje ikke så flink med folk generelt. Frank er en fyr som har gått gjennom mye. Han har ikke hatt noen til å være der for han. Utenom meg. Frank var den eneste som likte meg for den jeg var.
All right, we're back here. Rick will be joining us momentarily.
Those movies. That one movie that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either, but we'll be getting Severed Son. They just emailed us a little bit before we're doing the show about reviewing it and having some guests. I was like, yeah, it looks sweet.
Amazing.
Ed
Awesome.
Kemper.
Yes.
I thought this might be my favorite Chad Farron movie. I like Chad Farron movies anyway, but it's really good.
Yeah. Beautiful to look at. It's
that one with the dog looks so good too. I know you guys both really liked it.
It's weird. I'm sure it's pretty apparent that it's weird. Yeah. But it was good. It really was.
Yeah. So tomorrow at 6, we're going to be doing a live interview for Ed Kemper. So we're going to have Chad Farron, the director, Stephen Johnston, the writer, who's also written a lot of serial killer feature films, Joe Castro, the effects artist, and Brandon Kirk, the man who plays Ed himself in the film. He looks nothing like he does in the movie.
It's a hell of a crew.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because I had watched I watched the end of an Ed Kemper documentary that my mom was watching because she watches this kind of stuff all the time. And I was like, oh, we're going to be. And so I watch it. And then so a lot of that stuff was fresh in my mind when I was watching the Ed Kemper movie. And I was like, wow, a lot of this stuff's really. And then I was like, I think these are like, they use exact quotes from Ed Kemper in the movie, which I thought was really
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
I find him a very interesting guy. I have to admit.
Serial killers are very interesting.
Yeah, I hate to say he seems like a nice guy, but he's an interesting guy. He's even said what the reason why he does it now because he had a stroke a few years ago, but he used to do a lot of interviews, and he said the reason is there's people out there watching this who have the same thoughts as me, and they need help. And maybe if they watch something like this, because it's not, he doesn't want people, it's not a crime. It's not your fault if you have thoughts like this, but if you act on it, it's a terrible thing, not just the obvious, but it ruins everyone's lives, multiple people's lives. It was really interesting. And then, I'm pretty sure that he's an inspiration for Hannibal Lecter for a few different things.
Mm-hmm.
One, he was one of the first guys that the FBI talked to, which they go into in Manhunter. But even beyond that, so he was in the same block as Charles Manson and another serial killer. I don't know the name, but he was arrested around the same time. And Ed Kemper didn't like this guy because he said he just killed people for no reason, which I don't know what reason Ed Kemper did. But so they say he wasn't nice to him. And so this other serial killer, he would like sing like when people were watching TV and stuff, and Ed would throw water on him. And then eventually, but then when he was good, he would give him peanuts because the guy loved peanuts. And so eventually,
reward
over time, the guy would actually ask permission to sing.
Oh wow!
And then Ed Kemper and like talking about this, said this is called behavioral modification. And I was like, I think this is I think this is like Hannibal Lecter. Like he didn't eat the guy's talk him in his face or nothing, but like
psychology. Yeah, that's how it works. You got positive and negative reinforcers, and yeah. how it goes. It's Rick.
Yeah, so this is still a station of
there we go.
decapitation without your head. I'm still Nasty Neal.
I remain Terrible Troy.
This is still Annabelle Lecter.
And joining us now, the returning filmmaker of Boston Undead, Rick Chandler. It's good to have you back on the show.
Good to be back. Sorry, I had a technical difficulty. My own security wouldn't let me start my camera in this.
Oh, they're like, you don't want to talk to these people?
Maybe it was for your own good. You never know.
Yeah, maybe.
So we got to see you not long ago at Dead of Winter, which was very cool. And it's nice that there's for a while there wasn't a lot of festivals, conventions in New England after Fall of Rock and Shock with Happenstance was really cool. But now there's a few that's been popping up, and I think that's a huge benefit for New England.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a cool event.
Yeah. So also coming up is Strange Maynard. Have you been to this before?
I have, yeah.
I've never been. So give us, before we talk about your film, give us an idea of what Strange Maynard is like.
It's in the small town of Maynard, which does exist. This is a place. It's a lot of like horror movies, but they're weird. That's kind of the stick for this.
Right up our alley.
Yeah.
They're strange, and it takes place in Maynard. Hence the name Strange Maynard.
Indeed. Much like we were talking about with the last people, our wonderful people, is that horror does do a lot of crossover into just weird shit.
You don't say.
I do say indeed, Rick. I do. So, your film. Tell us.
A Lilith movie. Making its world premiere here.
Troy, you look like you're underwater almost.
I am.
Oh, okay, all right. That explains what's going on.
It's salt water. It's good.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think he's blurring out his background, or else it looks like he's in a very creepy basement because he is.
Because I am.
Okay, that makes sense. My movie. What about it? Okay, let's see. Can I explain this one? It gets harder every time. So 20 years ago, we shot the Lilith trilogy movies. I doubt anybody listening goes back that far, but if they do, the movies are Our Kingdom Come, Sons of Perdition, and Heaven and Hell. And these were shot between the years 2006 and 2009. And so they take place in their own world, obviously. They're horror thrillers. At this point, they're probably very cheesy, very like B-movie, silly. You know, it was the first stuff I've actually done with like a crew and stuff. And this goes back quite a ways. So we decided to try to resurrect it as I hate using the word meta now because everyone thinks I mean Facebook, but it's supposed to be like meta now, where it's like almost a horror comedy. Like it's taking place in our world, but like it's bleeding over. Like the fiction is bleeding over into reality.
So I noticed that you play the director. Are you actually playing Rick Chandler? Are you playing yourself, or are you playing a fictional director?
I'm sort of playing. I'm playing an exaggerated version of myself, all because this is like a pandemic movie on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm playing the paranoid Rick Chandler, thinking I wasn't going to make another movie.
I remember there was a time when Rick Chandler was a little unsure about the future of filmmaking.
Was this the last time we talked, or is this like?
It was a long time ago. It was probably around the pandemic years.
Well, that would make sense because it completely stopped, and people they weren't even really talking about indie film anymore. It's like there was no. It was like if you tried talking about it, people would be like, "So, anyways, did you season 2 of The Witcher? Like, shut the fuck up. We don't care." Like now, look, it's come back a little bit. I'm in better spirits than perhaps 2 years ago. But
you're smiling. That's good.
Yeah,
you look happy.
As happy as I'll be. in this
Well,
world.
that's good. Happy as you'll be is a good place to be at.
Oh yeah.
But it's really exciting because I know that, for people who make art, is that it can be hard to like keep your spirits up and like keep going. And I think that you continue to make things is awesome and shows like as an artist, you can have times where it's like, kind of like screw this. And then that love brings you back. The passion brings you back.
That's a good way to put it. Thank you.
How should I put it? What would be
things were dire in 2022, I'd say. I mean, we still did something. We were still like making stuff. I feel like it was just really hard to get a word in. I don't know. I think the world's in a worse place now, but back then it was like more people were, it was like a bigger panic, maybe the chaos was new to people. So it was like, hey, I'm making an indie movie, and people were just, it was like, who cares? They just didn't care,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, something I actually posted a kind of a not doomsday, but it was like a negative thing earlier today, and then I ended up deleting it because everyone was saying, "Are you okay?" Whatever. But it was about AI because, like, I have all these filmmaker friends, and they're always sending me all these, things about, "Oh, look, this was made with AI," and it's just like after a while, I was like, "What is even the point of making anything if everyone's just making everything with AI?" And then I wasn't like. I was kind of half joking, but people took it much more serious, so I deleted it. But what are your thoughts on AI? Because it is, I mean, you can't pretend it doesn't exist, and it just like it's progressing at a crazy rate.
I'm actually embracing it a little bit more now, not because I think it's awesome. It's because I feel like it can never really replace what people can do. For instance, like the movies I'm making, the content I'm making, AI is not going to be able to really capture that. I'm watching these cat videos right now, and it's AI, and it's just like all of a sudden the cat will just have like a human hand, and like it'll the animation keeps changing, and it's like it's always going to look stupid. You know what I mean? It's always going to look fake unless you're watching it on a screen this small, which a lot of people will. But it's not. I don't think it can completely replace as long as people don't get so burnt out, that they stop making art. I think people still have a little bit of hope and use AI as a tool, because that's all it is. It's just a tool at this point.
I have used it, like I've mentioned on the show, to clean up audio. I think that's really it's really useful to have. But the idea of just like, especially like people use it to write scripts and stuff.
Scripts. The scripts that's going too far. Yeah.
Yeah. The music is crazy. I mean, some of it I don't think you would even know if you were just listening to it. But again, some of that, like I have played around with it when it was new. And I'd write the silly lyrics, so like you are actually doing something, I guess. But the music, like it sounds like some guy. I sent some to Troy, and he thought it was like some like country rock singer or something.
Yeah, one sounded just like the Allman Brothers, so it's kind of crazy.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I think that's what I'm afraid of with AI is like it's gonna start to like take our voices, and you won't know like who's actually talking to you.
Yeah,
I think that's my fear with just how that's going to go.
Well, yeah, there's a thing it's called it's another podcast guy, and he does the super tip system. It's like the super chat, it's his own thing. But anyway, he does all these AI voices, and it's cool and all, but it's at the same time it's like you're literally just taking someone's their actual voice, and then people are paying to have this person say stuff in their own in their voice, and it's like I don't know, like not like just is that cool, but like people are making money off it, like someone's like actual voice.
Yeah, There's definitely copyright issues going on.
Yeah, like someone like taking, like, I'm assuming something like an Arnold Schwarzenegger and just spitting out whatever the people want.
Yeah, it's like they use like more like Dabbleverse for people. Like it's not necessarily like a giant name, but you're still using someone else's voice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they actually did have a
point
Richard.
where you're listening to an audiobook and it claims to be Ian McKellen and it's really not. That would really suck.
Wow, that's something I never thought about either.
Yeah.
Audiobook. You probably could just
get
an AI person to read an audiobook.
But Rick, tell us more about your story.
Yeah, this is too depressing.
Not just talk about AI, but
Yep.
actually the things that you make. So what do you got?
I only use AI. I'll be honest. The whole movie's AI. This is actually AI. I'm AI.
Yeah, Rick Chandler doesn't actually
That's
exist.
why you're
He's-
smiling more.
That's why I'm smiling. Rick
Yeah.
Chandler died. He was killed by COVID in 2022. And this is, gone. So I'm the AI. I'm carrying out his work.
User-friendlier version of him now on the AI.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, AI. Nice work.
It's pretty good detail.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, about the film, it's a short. It's not a feature. A lot of people think I returned to making features with this, but that I don't have that kind of money. But it's a short. I know. So I brought back some of the original casts. So they're kind of playing themselves. That's the weird part.
So, what's a benefit for you and for anyone out there to have your movie play at a festival and attend the festival?
I guess it's a different audience now. I don't know everybody there. You could say the same with YouTube, but you're fighting the algorithm with YouTube. Where now, if there's 100 people there, they're watching it. They might walk out, but they're there.
And what do you do you think there is a benefit of attending them? So you're there, with the people. Obviously, it's cool to watch it with other people, but like interact with other filmmakers. Do you ever meet someone like, oh, this is somebody that I could collaborate with?
There hasn't been a lot of collaboration going on for me. I'm not trying to avoid anybody. It just hasn't really been happening. But I think it opens that possibility. I think it's nice to see. It's like you get to see a test audience's reaction almost in a way. Because people in it are always gonna have two reactions. They either love it or hate it. There's nothing in between. There's nobody that's like, that wasn't bad. They're either like, I can't believe, they're either like offended at their own performance, which is weird, or they absolutely love it no matter what it is. So
wow. What does that feel like if someone has that experience of being, you said, offended by their own performance? I would be frustrated.
I've heard a lot of things, a lot of strange things. Like I remember there was, when Parts Unknown was done, and we screened it. A guy comes up to me, and he just says, I noticed a continuity error with one of the effects. And he's just standing there all awkward, and I was like, yeah, maybe. And he's just took me out of the movie. And it was like a 2-hour and 10-minute movie or something. I was like, it's so. Then other people just came by and they're like, it was fucking long. And I'm just like, whatever, man, just walk out. I don't know. I don't know.
Go get some popcorn and come back in. Yeah. So I know you said you don't have the money to make a feature, but is that something you would like to do again? Is make a feature film?
I think as a writer, I'm a feature guy. I haven't been a feature guy since 2017 with Parts Unknown, because things, as I'm sure people have noticed, this is maybe this is a sore subject for today, but things cost a lot. They're going to cost a lot continuously. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to quadruple my budget and then something else that's been going on that's probably lesser known to people is everybody wants a lot of money now. There's not a lot of, and I mean, maybe this is just with me. Other people, maybe they don't experience the same thing. But I feel like very few people will work for trade. And I got a lot of like equipment and stuff people could use. And they still won't do it. They don't care. They want like cash in their hand. Yeah. That's tough for me because it's not there to give.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But yeah, I would say, most independent filmmakers are in the same boat as far as, it would be great to pay everybody a whole bunch of money, but it's just not feasible if you actually want to make something.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to fight against, and yet you're still going.
Yeah, I'm a cockroach. I'm not really going to die. It's just going to mutate into something else.
What do you do with the? I know what you do. You put them on YouTube. But where do you see like the future of short films? Like, do you think there'll be more platforms to put them on?
So actually, it's a pretty good question. We'll see if the potential sale of TikTok does something to this. Because like right now, I'd say no. There's too much like regular streaming. People do have short attention spans, but I don't know. I mean, I think if TikTok goes down, but then again, it'll be other vertical crap. So I'm not a fan of vertical, but sometimes I gotta play the game though.
You're gonna make a vertical short film.
I do put up some vertical, like YouTube shorts for some of the longer, deliciously decayed episodes, and they will get more views. And it's frustrating, but it is what it is.
How does that impact you as a filmmaker to have to rethink what you're doing? Something that's totally natural. Like we all have the experience of we're watching a TV or a theater film, and this is just a picture. Everything is like this. And now having to like shift it and trying to get anything that's, background or anything like that just kind of disappears because you're just focused on a central figure.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead space with vertical too. Like if you try to get cinematic with it, you'll just have this big upper third or lower third. I guess that's fine if you're gonna type out the name of the video and an upload, or it's really rough for me. My brain doesn't think that way, and a lot of people get on my case for this. A lot of people, tell me if you don't play this game, you're gonna go extinct. But I actually disagree because I'm probably doing better than ever right now. I don't have any money, but I feel like people are watching my stuff everywhere. So I don't really care about vertical that much.
Deliciously Decayed. What are some of the ones that we can look forward to coming up?
We just released one on the Boston Undead 617 YouTube channel. It's called Norwich State Hospital. It's like a mini documentary about Norwich State Hospital in Connecticut. And it's we were in there, used the drone, it's like a lot of different perspectives.
I know we've asked you before, but like, does it get harder to find places to go to? Like, I assume like you have like a list that originally like, we got to hit these few places. And then as time goes on, like, how do you find like new places to seek out?
I think the last time you asked me that was like 2023-ish. And I feel like it's gotten a lot harder by 2025.
Right.
Like, we have gone through everything we heard about 5 years ago when we started this. And to be honest, we are down to our last few places that we can travel out to comfortably without getting arrested. So there's very little left, and I'm sure we will find a way I'm sure we'll figure it out to keep it going but we have plans to figure it out to keep it going, but it's we're running out of asylums, first of all. As far as other places go, yeah, they're okay, but sometimes there's like nothing, they're heavily patrolled. There's too many, they just get destroyed by fires, whatever, and sometimes there's no commentary on them either. So we're running low.
You have to take road trips.
We might at a certain point.
Yeah, I think if you did that, I mean, you could plan out to like film a few episodes at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the challenge with the road trips is we're not sure if we can get into the buildings when we get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you travel all the way there, and like,
Yeah, that'd be a drag.
So there's got to be at least something in that area we know we can do.
yeah.
I was going to my friend's wedding in October, and we ended up taking we drove through New York, even though we didn't really have to, so we could stop off at an asylum there. So
Okay.
we still got a little bit left to do.
Yeah. Or it could take it could be a new show. Rick gets arrested. It could be the new series.
Yeah, and that's gonna be that's coming, man. That's coming.
That's what I'll help on that one.
What has your range been for your travels
For
the show?
what
If
do
people
you mean?
get into it, like, what area do you cover? Are you New England?
We're predominantly New England. We got a New York episode coming up. We have done Vegas,
Wow.
and that's it. Is that it? Yeah, I guess that's the only other outside area that we
Wow.
covered.
I mean, New England's a pretty great place for shit like that.
There's a lot of asylums here, but it's coming down to the end. They're getting leveled for condos now, and the cops are everywhere. So we've had a tough time even revisiting some of them lately.
Well, it's cool that you got to I mean, like doing this show, it's cool that to think back, like people we've had on the show, they're no longer here, and I think that would be something to look at, like, oh, we were actually at this place before it got leveled. There's like we've got some footage here that will live, will keep living even though the place is gone.
Yeah, I think it's important to try to preserve these places as much as possible. There's a lot of history, whether it's good or bad, in them.
I think it's great that, like you said, the idea of preserving them, what you're doing is, in a way, that is preserving them, because things are. I used to have a beautiful drive up and down the highway past where you could see Danvers State Hospital. Very terrible place, but pretty cool to look at. And then that got wiped out except for one single building. And it was a terrible place. And sometimes those places, I feel like some of the terrible things are like, we have memorials for things that are terrible and reminders of what people can do and what they did, for better and for worse. And these abandoned places tell stories.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot to unpack. We try to do that. Like, we're a little goofy, but we try to get serious at times and talk about the impact that these places have had. I have been to Danvers. We checked that out. I think I actually have a bottle from Danvers. I found some medical equipment. This was recent, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you used any of them?
Yeah.
In your private life?
If you look hard enough, there's always something left behind.
Do you collect that stuff? Like, have you done that for other places? Like, brought home or maybe you can't say. I don't want to get you arrested.
There's not much. We'll take a souvenir like a rock or piece of concrete. We don't really have much actual like vintage items. Because people have just honestly, the Vandals have done a lot of damage in these places, so most of that stuff has been destroyed. And if you find remnants of it, you're lucky. We have a couple psychology books. I think that's some
really
of the
wild.
yeah.
So at the Dead of Winter, as we mentioned, you had the Orion project play. So where is that now? Do you have that for people can watch online, or is it going to be playing other festivals?
It's on my YouTube as well right now.
Mm-hmm. What was the inspiration for the Orion project?
I wanted to make something that was kind of where only like I could shoot it on a couple of different types of cameras, and it was just with one actor. I think it's like the goal is to be as minimal as possible, and yeah, that's what we did.
Is that? I don't want to talk about features again, but was there ever plans for that to continue, like to grow out into a feature?
I don't think there was plans. I think it could be. Mm-hmm. I think the effects, I'd need to get some like heavy effects in there to do that, but it could be a cool longer movie.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It could go on like this is something, you're part of something bigger.
It could, yeah. I mean, most of my shorts, I feel like they could continue. Like I said, I'm a feature writer, so I hate writing shorts. I hate it. I think I don't even know if I had a real script. I feel like I came up with a shot list for that because like I can't develop a character in 4 minutes. And most film festival directors, they're like, dude, stop. Like, we don't want to play. Just no 40 minutes, no stop. Like, give us 4 minutes. So I did.
Yeah, I don't want to name any names, but if you made something with people that since you've had fallings out with and stuff, does that affect like how you look at those projects today?
Of course, yeah. Of course, it's such a. Oh man, what a mark Nasty Neal is. Feel like I'm on a wrestling podcast all of a sudden. Yeah, no, it affects things. It stirs up a lot of, because I don't really watch my own movies that often. So if you go back and you have to re-edit a clip for something, you're like, oh, that's weird. Sometimes it's sad, and sometimes it's just like, it's weird. But yeah, it makes you rethink of the situation. Sure.
Yeah, just even if you don't rewatch your stuff, it's nice to like have nice memories of it. So I just it's sad if that if it affects like how you think of an older project.
I think after a couple of years, like time changes it, so it feels like it was an experience with professionals, and you take the personal side of it out a little bit. I mean, there's always going to be those couple situations that are really strange, but they're few and far between.
And there was a recent wrestling horror movie that came out that had the poster was very similar to your film.
I've heard a lot about this.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho's Dark Match movie.
Okay.
A lot of people were concerned that perhaps there was something going on there, but I know people who watched it, they said it was supernatural, but that was the only link.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I just know the poster
very similar.
Thematically, it was very similar.
Yes,
I haven't seen it, so I don't know if the movie itself is anything like it or not.
I saw it and I was like, what the fuck? Because like all I had to look at was the poster, and I was a little like,
wow,
no fucking way. Like I looked up the writer and director because I was like, do I know him? I didn't, but
I'm so curious. I don't know this poster.
It looks like the original Parts Unknown poster. The Parts Unknown poster has been like fucking bane of my existence. It has caused so many problems. And
I've had issues with, not me personally, like, oh man, this poster, but with showing a couple of your different posters. People have like been like, no, it's true. He knows. I've talked to him. It was the one you're talking about, Parts Unknown, because people aren't in it. And then there was another one where they're like, I own this, and I was just like, I don't know, but yeah.
But the Parts Unknown poster, it's funny because like this story is it's ridiculous how much longevity this story has. But yeah, people were not on it. It was actually early AI that replaced the people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I don't know so, but I think they used early AI, and I took big heat because why would people stopped talking to me literally to this day.
Wow.
Some of the stars of the fucking project, but I got no issue talking about it because to me, I don't know. It's not.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Annabelle, the original poster is a hand-painted poster, and it's very cool. Which I've seen this happen a lot. Like at festivals, I'll see like a really cool, like hand-painted poster, looks like an old school, which I like better. And then like a distributor will put it out, and it'll be maybe it's eye-catching. They'll use like a lot of blues and oranges or whatever. They're all very similar, I would say. And they used like, I guess, stock people because it's not the actual people from the movie, but they still used like one or two real. So it was just odd. I thought I didn't really.
It was odd. Yeah, they used one person's likeness somehow. That's why I think it was early AI. I think the AI just couldn't like deep fake other people, but that translated to, oh man, I don't want to get into the identity politics of it, but it turned into this thing where did I do this to spite the female cast? And I have no motivations to do that. Right. These were people that I very heavily relied on, so why would I fuck them over? Yeah. But I got dragged into this whole thing, and then people said, we didn't even mention your name. And I'm like, people did, they said the director.
Right. The other director. Yeah.
The other director, yeah. So, I mean, it was really only one person, but unfortunately they got people kind of sharing her post, and this spread throughout. I know the canceled term is kind of funny, but like we literally could not get on podcasts. People were like, something happened here. Wow. That's what happened. That is the full story. That is what happened.
So some person got mad that they were not on a poster.
Right. And in Rick's defense, he didn't make the poster. And this happens regularly. Like, the distributor will make their own poster, and sometimes for the better and sometimes just more generic and not as much charm or whatever.
There was an exclusive interview that a local podcaster did with the actress, and I was not allowed to be on it.
Wow.
And this guy recently asked me to drive him to New York because he wanted to film something at a graveyard. He felt like I would be the guy to get the footage for him, but I don't know why I was driving him. Maybe he was driving me. I was just bringing all my gear. So I was like, what's it pay? He said $0. I said, remember you did an exclusive interview to try to sink my career? And he's like, I didn't mean anything, brother. And he was like, I think he blocked me. I'm like, what the fuck? What? I was like, does this guy really want me to do like a free gig for him? I mean, I would have done it for money, but I don't know. So like he did this and he had the actress on there, and it's just, I don't understand. It was not a political issue. Somehow it became a political issue. Now I think in 2025, there's like actual politics ruining the world. But back then, people had a lot to focus. They had nothing to focus on. It was COVID, and there's too much time on their hands. So this is what they decided to do.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it sucked.
You just mentioned they were people that you knew, right, and had worked with for a while.
Now, this is one of my very good friends, actually.
Wow.
And they never talked to me again. And I've had falling outs with other people from the film world, and can't even explain it. To me, it's just dick measuring. But with this individual, there's no dicks to be measured. It was just straight up somehow an issue with it became like this sucks. I don't really want to say this, but it became like a woman in the industry issue because she felt like she wasn't on the poster because she was a woman. And if that's true, that sucks. I can't get into the mind of the distributor. I don't know why they did what they did, but at that point I already signed the agreement, and I couldn't go back and change the poster. There's nothing I could have done to stop it. And I don't know why they put Will DeCoff on there and not other people. That is just not my decision. That's just something they decided to do. And I don't think they did it for any reason other than they just didn't care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it might have been just something like as basic as like his picture was easier to cut out. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like something silly like that.
Yeah, distributors just don't give a shit. They're just kind of callous, and I think it's just an example of that. And I'm not sure why I kind of had to fall on the sword because it hurt the movie a little bit. I won't lie. I think that was a very discouraging thing. And then from there, it was hard to get anything made because we were in the middle of the pandemic. So that's probably why I was disheartened last time I was on the show.
Yeah. Understandable. That's horrible. Horrible. And it sounds like a situation that I wasn't there, but it sounds in this moment like it's pretty easy to explain what happened.
Yeah, or even to just say what, it wasn't, he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't his decision to make the poster that way. Yeah.
With me, I don't know, it was hard. I tried to keep quiet when this all went down because I thought people would come to their senses, but I guess other people moved on, but
not everyone.
Not everyone.
Yeah.
And I could see like being upset about it, but it wasn't you weren't the person to be upset with, is all I would say.
Well, I got the Scourge in the Hood poster, or whatever the hell they ended up calling the movie, Silent Night, Dead Night, or something. Yeah, that's something ridiculous. I after 5-6 years, I actually got that poster changed back, and so it could happen. I tried to explain that to people that this is a fixable issue. It's just going to take a long time, and I don't know. People chose the hysteria because COVID was a time where everybody was losing their shit. And like I said, I think 2025 is worse, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. We're just getting used to it now. That's the thing. We're used to the kind of, I don't know.
Some more than others. I'm not feeling very good.
Well, the people
I
are
also have a
internal.
line of work where I am around people who are very vulnerable. So I think it's really in my face. Whereas a lot of people, it's like there's sucky stuff going on. And it's like we were talking about earlier, watching things like horror and these high fantasy things, it can be really helpful because when the world is insane, you can tune it out.
Yeah, it's pretty insane right now. It's almost like we're living episodes of South Park. You can't spoof what's going on.
Yeah.
At least COVID was like a virus. It was like, so that's, you can't explain this now. It's just madness.
Yep. Yeah, Troy and I talk a lot off air. It's kind of like Bananas, the old Woody Allen movie.
Yep.
So, Strange Maynard, though, 1 month from today, May 3rd.
Yeah, May 3rd. I will be there physically.
Not a hologram. You'll actually be there.
I'll actually be there. Yeah, I'm not really AI.
Oh.
Yeah. Actually, I might show up like a hologram, like the Emperor.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll beam you in.
Yeah. Can't catch COVID that way.
Good point.
That's very true. It's very true. I've been sick since Buff. I'm not blaming Buff, but
Sick since Buff.
yeah. So I don't know. I think I got Troy sick too, unfortunately.
Dang.
Not just sick of me, but just sick in general.
Sick in general.
Yeah.
I'm the survivor.
No one could be sick of me. I'm friggin' great. But a Lilith movie will be playing at Strange Maynard. It's a 5-hour block, a lot of weird shorts. That's going to be a good time. People should come out, meet Rick, watch a movie, tell them good stuff about the movie. Don't tell them you don't like it, even if you don't.
I don't care what they think anyway. I can give a shit.
Well, you're making movies that you want to make.
Yeah, at this point, I should be done. I should be retired. The fact I'm not, nobody can stop me, so I'm not worried about it.
All right, well, good enough. Where can people follow you to see what you're up to?
They can go over to YouTube at Boston Undead 617. Also, Boston Undead is on Instagram and Facebook. If Facebook there's a Facebook group for it. I don't know. Facebook's kind of useless, but you can follow my personal page. There's more juicy drama on there. People seem to like that. Neal likes that stuff.
Yes, he does.
I do.
He does. Yeah, he thinks he's
That's his wrestling fan side.
He thinks he's who's that guy that I was on the show with that one time, or he was on before me. Sean Oliver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you think you're like interviewing like Kevin Nash about a locker room incident or like something that happened in WCW. Like I get Rick Chandler on the show.
It's true. Neal, he's got it. Neal is
Kayfabe Jones, they call him.
Yeah, it's true. I remember at some event, Neal walked up to me with like a tape recorder, and he's just like, "What do you think of?" And he's talking about a different poster situation.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
And he's dropping names. Yeah, he's dropping names and everything. And I was in a bad mood, so I just said the whole thing. And I remember Neal just goes, "Shit, I don't know if I could air that." I don't know.
I still have it. I never did actually post it up. But
it's too late now.
He's blocked me since, so let's put it up.
Oh man! Wow.
I want to know. Oh, I
you
think
know who he is. You know who he is.
Well, this was
We're getting the tea on this episode right here.
This is more convoluted. That one was more convoluted. I acted in a movie.
Yeah, it's really silly. Yeah.
Yeah, bare bones minimum. I acted in a movie. And the original Parts Unknown poster, because this goes back to the original one that Neal was talking about, that was illustrated. This guy's name, he was in the crew. His name wasn't in the micro credits on the bottom. He was very mad about this, but didn't really tell me. So it was kind of, it was just like boiling over, but I couldn't really tell I didn't know what was going on. And I was getting kind of mad at just this kind of standoffishness. So Neal, of course, because he's stirring the pot, releases this poster.
I didn't know though. I had no idea there was anything going on about that at that.
So he releases this other poster movie called Insomniac.
Yeah,
and
it was used in your banner. So it was when I was still doing the oval one. So it's like you were in the middle. And then it was you from some other movie, and then you from Insomniac on the other side.
And I shared that.
Yeah.
And then I was fucking ripped apart because I was sabotaging the Insomniac project, which is wild because I was a lead actor in it. And I was sabotaging it because I guess the poster at that point was to be released either that day or that week, and I blew it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I was like, it's Neal Jones that blew that, man. I didn't do that.
Neal.
I did
not.
I
think I found it online, so I don't know.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You found that online?
Yeah, because I would Google images to make those banners. So.
Oh, weird. It's even weirder.
Yeah.
Anyways, that caused another again connected to Parts Unknown. Everyone from Parts Unknown hates me. It just is what it is. And that caused another rift. And this was someone who was in the crew. And then there was another actor that took his side and stopped talking to me from that moment forward.
Wow.
So there's like 3 people there. I must be the bad guy.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If I try to stir the pot, I'll admit, especially when it's years later. But I wasn't trying to do anything. I was just making a banner, and I thought it was a cool picture, and I put it on the banner. And so I really didn't understand what the big deal was at all. It was
at
all
that.
very weird.
Yeah, at this point, I can just kind of laugh at that situation because it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Like it should not have escalated, but a lot of blocking took place.
Wow.
And then, from what I understand, blocking has continued right up to this day. Neal's blocked now.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. Why is that? I don't know. I don't know.
Did this come up recently?
Yeah. You know who he is.
I might be.
I believe you are too, because he.
I believe I am. Oh, because I did something.
Why?
I did something.
What did you
Apparently.
do?
What did I do? Can we just not talk about this openly? Like, fuck that guy.
I don't care. I mean, if you want to.
I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just curious what you're like. Nice. What did you do? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, well, we didn't know what was going on. It was he wanted to come on the show, which I'm totally fine with, but it was like over a couple weeks and I didn't get him on, and I don't know. Then he had blocked me, and then I found out later it was I guess it was over that, and we had reviewed a movie. We were reviewing shorts from the first Dead of Winter, and it wasn't even a negative review. It was just Annabelle had referenced it was like something about pills, like you're off your meds or something, was like the gist of the thing. And Annabelle doesn't really you can explain what you said.
So if someone, I think it's really cheap for someone to throw in stuff about that they're taking pills and therefore there's something negative implied, like people just universally mental health medications are just bad, and we're going to use that as a plot point and as a foil for this. And I, as a person that works in this field of mental health, know that that's BS, and it's not helpful to illustrate like this idea that mental health meds are universally bad. And it also makes people who do take those medications look away, right? Like you're a crazy person, or you're stupid for taking these medications or whatever. I don't think I got into that level of depth, but it is something I just don't like to see. I myself personally, people do whatever the fuck they want. I myself personally do not like to see that. So okay. I don't know what.
And it wasn't like a huge negative review of the movie at all. It was just a part. I think you mentioned that there was like a few shorts that had the same theme. I don't know if we even honestly, I don't think we even referenced the short by name.
It happens, and I think it's a super cheap, unnecessary way to talk about mental illness and mental health treatment. That's me.
And then I noticed that it was right after that all my Arbor Day stuff was being reported.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes.
That's some petty right
there. Does the trolling sound similar to experiences you may have had?
I haven't talked to that camp of people in a long time. At this point, I feel like a lot of it's water under the bridge because it's just kind of like nobody has said anything to me in a long time, so there's no real animosity left for me. But I feel like some people might hold a bit of a grudge. I'm not really sure what it's over at this point exactly, but it happens.
Yes. Yeah. Indeed, it does.
Fucking Neal, man. What the fuck is this?
I didn't
Get
even do
them.
anything on this one.
Who else? Who else could we get? Who else did I have a problem with that we could talk about?
I'm trying to think here.
Oh my god. He will too. He'll say, I'm trying to think, and it won't even be a joke, and he'll find some way to dredge up some dirt.
No, but
That's
I'll
it.
be honest. So that one I didn't do anything. That was just. But I did talk to Rick about it on here. I found it. I couldn't find the old banner, but this was me talking to Rick about.
Oh shit! Man, I
You
look
can
real
see
serious.
Rick's very
there.
serious there.
Yeah, I'm very serious.
So I did purposely bring that up in that interview, but I didn't. The banner thing, I just made a banner. It was like trying to do anything.
Yeah, but you brought it up again now, reopening.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
old,
sure.
like so someone out there's gonna be like, you should have seen without your head.
Why not?
Rick.
There was some pretty. Like I said, I think this stems from parts unknown, and it stems from people just. There's a lot of long days that people want to get on me for that. Sure, I think time slips, and so I think when people didn't get exactly what they wanted, perhaps they were a little mad, and I think some of this stuff stems from that, and people didn't talk about that though. They kind of stared it into perhaps a different direction, like posters, because and I don't know. It was so bad, like with the rats poster, like I didn't even have anyone's name on it. I was like, there's a fucking rat skull.
Yeah.
Done. And then I just didn't have any money to have anyone illustrate a poster from the Void with Love. So I had the actors back on it, and I was like, oh shit, don't do anything, please.
Yeah.
Gave me like poster PTSD.
All right. Well, I'm trying. I can't find the old poster here. The old banner, I mean.
The old. What is this? The Insomniac banner?
Yeah. I was trying to find the banner.
God, I'm gonna get like reported on everything tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be like that dick Rick Chandler. Neal's just gonna be Neal. He's like over there smiling. Everybody's just like, Neal's the best, and you will be the villain.
What? I just said the guy reported me and blocked me.
I know. I'm always the villain though. I don't care.
You just accept your lot in life.
I might as well. This is what I say to people now when they get mad at me. I just say, turn on the news, turn on TV. I'm not worse than what's going on. I just make posters that don't have people on it or get blamed for it. Actually, I didn't even make it. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Insomniac did play at, I believe it was the first Severed Limbs.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. I like the movie a lot. If anybody ends up watching this, I actually think it's a great movie.
I think it's really good too.
It's a great poster too.
You know what? I didn't even use it on yours. I think I used it on his banner.
So how did I get involved in this? So he should call himself out. What do I have to do with this? He should like tag himself on Facebook and be like, "You piece of shit! Why are you trying to blackmail?" Because this is what he said, quote unquote. There is a piece of shit that is trying to destroy the reveal of this poster because they're jealous of my his success. I'm like, man, I'm on the fucking poster though. Like, I'm not.
Was that at you or at Neal?
Yeah. No, that wasn't me. He didn't blame. I don't believe he didn't blame Neal because at the time he could still use Neal, and now he can't. So now we're both pieces of shit. Probably everybody here is a piece of shit,
right?
Among many others.
Come on in. Join the club.
I never get hit by things. It's weird. It's like
So it's you and Neal both have this like Teflon.
Yeah, but he's been blocked by this person too. Like I don't know who it is.
Matter.
But... No.
I was going to show the poster about.
I'm probably.
I never had, I never talked bad about him on the show or nothing. Oh.
I'm probably going bowling with this guy this weekend.
Well, he's probably going to show up to like my house tomorrow. Assault me in the parking lot.
Things are going to get bombastic pretty soon here. Yeah.
I really don't know what this guy even looks like. Is he like a physical threatening?
He's a big guy.
Hello? Is he?
Yeah. I don't know if he's threatening, but he's a big dude.
I legit do not know the name.
I'm 5'5", so I mean everyone's big to me. But...
That's how big of an impact he has on me. I don't remember his name or what he looks like.
I was good friends with him for a while, for a long time.
Yeah, I never had an issue with him.
Until
he did. I don't know.
No, that was it. Yeah, I had no issue with him at all. And then that happened. It was a very, very, very strange situation, like I said. Because I feel like it was at any time it could have been pulled back, and it just fucking wasn't. It didn't
Go ahead.
It didn't get that. It didn't get that heated between me and him. But I think perhaps there was other people involved. He was trying to establish his own, which everyone's seen this, trying to establish his own group of people to make movies, and I think they kind of were like, Rick Chandler's an asshole. Let's get this. I don't know. Let's make better movies. Blah blah blah. Obviously, that hasn't happened. So whatever.
So if any of these people were to actually, I'm not suggesting that this is going to be the podcast of healing, but if any of these people come to you and say, Rick, this was a fucked up scenario. There were just heat was happening. People were under stress. There's drama. And I am sorry for the part I played in these things happening. Let's be okay. What would you think about that? I mean, they're different people. It's not like everybody's the same person who has the same.
I mean, what's the is it just kind of a shaking of the hands and it's just clearing the air? Yeah. That's
Yeah. There's no reason to hold grudges.
I wouldn't hire somebody that might have that much of a problem with me, but I'd certainly shake their hand and wish them the best, because a lot of time has passed here. This was not a super recent thing. It's just something that comes up because of Neal all the fucking time.
All right.
Hands. Did you see that?
What?
Yeah,
he's laughing and did this.
Yeah. He's stirring the fucking pot.
Why did you come here?
I got everybody's back unless it's Jim McDonough, because then you're on your own. He scares me. I think
he's very big. He's not only tall, but he's like super buff now since he's making Manicorn.
And he's like a very handsome guy too, so I'm not going to mess with him.
Okay, it's not him.
Crush over here.
All right.
No,
then I'm
no
good.
one has the problem with Jim McDonough.
All right.
And
I got everybody's back if it comes to that.
Nice. Yeah, you guys would be a team.
Yep.
He wouldn't be after you. He's a lovely man from what I've seen.
All right. So we'll end the show in a nice note. Everyone out there, get along.
Yeah.
Yes.
And be a dick to everybody. Be
right.
good people.
Everything's fine.
If someone
now.
out there has been a dick,
forgive them.
I'm okay with that. I'm very easily let things go.
Yep.
Let things go, but maybe not trust a person who is Shea.
Be smart.
That's fair.
Wise, but
right. Yeah.
As fuck the parts unknown poster. Fuck that thing.
I want to find the poster though. I was looking for it.
They're cool posters. Even the AI one is not that bad.
Yeah, they're both good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the first one that Dennis Preston made. I love that one. I don't know why it was some kind of a weird curse in terms of people unraveling, but yeah, that's the big poster. It was like a years long poster drama. So now we've talked about that.
Postergate.
Poster, yeah. That's part of my history, unfortunately.
We'll move past that.
So people go follow Boston Undead. Go out to Strange Maynard. It's going to be a good time. And it's good to talk to you, Rick. You're always welcome on the show.
Yeah, always good.
Anytime you need a last minute guest or anything, I always got something to say.
Plug. Yeah.
Last minute person to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bring up some posters.
Thrown under the bus. Yeah. I'm gonna get knifed at Strange Maynard pretty soon.
Well, then you could come back on and give us the exclusive.
Yeah. And you'd love it. You'd love to see it. Like big wound.
Yeah. Well, as long as it's like nothing life threatening,
you know.
Yeah. A good story. You know. It's always good. So.
Wow. Okay. I didn't think I was going to actually explain any of that tonight. All right.
Here we are.
Yep. You never know what's going to happen on Without Your Head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man has brought this up more than once during this podcast. Neal the pot stirrer.
Years apart, Neal brought this. You could see my hair, my beard. That was like 6 years ago. He's still trying to get me to talk about this.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Oh, that's it. Bottom. We just got to that was the whole curse right there.
So, Neal, if Rick starts getting harassed again, what will you do?
Get him back on the show to talk about it.
What the fuck's he ever done? He's gonna be like, "You want to talk?" That's what he's gonna do.
I'll make a cool banner. And...
Yeah. You know what you can do? You can make a banner. This is the guest coming on, Rick Chandler, and it's like all the controversies. Oh shit, man! Just get all the heat you possibly fucking can. It used to bother me, and now I'm just like it. It's like opening up a can of worms. I don't care anymore.
Maybe that can be your deal. Like you both nuts. That can be the Rick Chandler thing.
The what?
Like Louis Bowl is nuts. So maybe Rick Chandler can have this.
Yeah. I was out of control. I feel before, like 7 years ago, I was just out of control. The things I posted and did, and I was very controversial on purpose. And then I calmed down because people, they didn't want to see that at their events anymore, and they're on their podcasts and stuff. They just wanted to COVID happened. People wanted things to be cool. And I'm back to being crazy, so I don't care. That's it.
So you're gonna box people?
Oh, I would. I can't. Why not?
Oh, during COVID, actually, Rick and I were doing videos about each other for a little bit. We were gonna meet up.
Yeah. There was we were gonna fight each other. Most people were scared for your safety, Neal.
Well, why? Neal's such like the picture of aggression. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his Undertaker hat on, the motorcycle Undertaker. Motorcycle guy Undertaker.
American Badass.
You're right, yeah. So got that look going.
All right. Todd Quality Jaeger. All right, Neal. What have you said about me? Nothing. I'll say if I say anything, it's right here on the show. Who cares about talking off the air? That does me no good. But if you talk about it on the show, then people.
I've never heard anything negative about you, Todd. I will say that much.
All kidding aside, I never say anything about the other guy either. I mean, I didn't.
Who?
No. You just dragged me into it. That was my battle to fight.
I would have never known. I just said, hey, who's this asshole on the group who's like just wrecking your shit? And which you couldn't even see, I think, because you were blocked.
Yeah.
Wait, who was blocked? Me or Neal?
Not you. Blocked. Neither of you. The other guy.
Oh.
Who blocked us within the recent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blocked. I'm blocked by a ton of people. All from that poster. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thought. It's a weird thought, but at this point, I can laugh. It took me a long time to laugh about it, though.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of. It gave me almost, like it's like sort of some kind of anxiety, because you're like, is this going to keep happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, is everyone going to hate me over things that are so trivial and stupid? And the answer is maybe. So might as well not give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
That's where you learn from them.
It's true.
Yeah.
You don't know who's going to be the worm in someone's ear, and like Neal.
Yeah, like Neal. Yeah, Neal. Well,
Oh,
there's
here we go.
another.
We got a Full Metal Nosferatu. Hello, it's Todd from the
Oh,
Lilith Movie. Sweet.
Nice.
Why he's tuning in? Yeah, Todd is Todd played a character called Caligula from the original trilogy, and now he is the lead in this adaptation.
What has been the jump between these two characters?
Well, now he's playing himself, or a version of himself, an actor that's getting back into things in a post-COVID world, or the COVID is ending in a Lilith movie, so it's supposed to be like 2022 or something. And Caligula was an assassin that worked for the Vatican in the original movies. Oh, they're weird. I played a Nazi.
It's not good to be playing Nazis anymore. There's no Nazi humor. Does not fly nowadays.
Oh well, it wasn't. I was like a villain.
Yeah. Now it seems
it wasn't really you. No. Yeah. Well, hey, if I run for office, those images will pop up, and a year ago I'd say it would have hurt my career. Now I might get voted in. So, hey.
Yeah.
Thanks, Todd, for coming in here, and hopefully Todd makes it out and gets to see his movie at Strange Maynard.
Yeah, I think he will. I think you could see Todd there.
Nice. Killed for the Lord.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sweet name over there. Full Metal Nosferatu.
Yeah, I like
he also shaved his eyebrows off for the role.
Really?
Dang. That is some commitment.
Yep.
What do you do in the rest? What do you do in the rest of the time? Did you draw them on, or you just go with bald brows while they grew out? Because people don't react well to people without eyebrows. It's very
it's kind of a shocking thing. Yeah.
I think I don't think he drew them on.
Oh.
Just lived it.
Yeah, he lived it. No, yeah, he lived it. This was a different time. It was 2006, 2007. You said you were making a movie, people were, they're excited. There's no streaming, you know what I mean? So.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really true.
They grew back pretty quick, he says.
Oh, no.
People at work thought I was ill. All right.
Well, fortunately, you were not.
Yeah. We're glad that you're healthy again.
Healthy and full of eyebrows.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will talk to you soon, Rick. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so
It's been
much.
great. It's nice to talk.
Yeah.
Good talking to everybody.
All right. See you, Rick.
See you later.
Yeah. Oh, very.
Yeah, Neal. Look at you. You have such tells for when you're pleased.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Stuff out there, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Rick's a good guy. We've known him for a long time.
Honestly, I appreciated that conversation because from my point of view, not as a person directly involved, I think it's hearing it from him, it seems like some pretty simple situations that I don't know. So I was glad to hear it. but hopefully Rick doesn't end up living to regret it. Oh, Rick.
Yeah, so we thanked all the fine people who helped donate. Originally, I was just doing it for a fun Easter thing, and then it came up to renew the website. Not the website itself, but the host that hosts all the stuff. And anyway, Tyler, our webmaster, he's a good guy, so he he just did it right away, and so I had to reimburse him, obviously, and it was more than it used to be. But anyway, we got it all done, and that was very nice that people came through. And here are ours too. I had made each of ours.
Oh,
Nice.
the pink really works.
Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That's why I picked that.
Yeah, I love the picture. That's awesome. What is the
It's a great
story
one.
of this picture, Troy?
Elena, who was our old phys ed teacher at the school, she's also a dance instructor, and every Christmas she would do a nutcracker. And so she made a special part for me and a bunch of kids in the production. And so we had this whole scene where I was the baker, and I had like 10 kids who were like my assistants.
Aww.
And I would go out and kind of pantomime baking things, and the kids would all dance around and stuff. We had probably like a minute and a half like shtick, and it became like, a huge part of the event. So it was a lot of fun.
That's so cute.
I love the baker hat. It's the best.
Amazing.
The mustache looks right there.
Oh yeah, got the curl going.
Mhm.
Oh, very good. You got the pink working.
Greaster.
The Greaster bunny. Maybe that'll be next year.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoy making the cards after I did those for End Zone 2 and Smash. So I might do those every once in a while. Just a fun thing to make from people donate for different holidays, whatever. But there will be ones coming up for Arbor Day too, which I'm trying to put together.
Ooh.
All right. So thank you guys. We appreciate that.
From this day forth, underwear will be changed every half an hour. Underwear will be worn on the outside so we can check.
It's from
What?
Bananas.
That's from Bananas.
Oh, I'm like, what's happening?
The official language
Confused.
of San Pedro will be Swedish. All children under the age of 17 are now 17.
Well,
that was their new dictator that came in after they had the uprising and overthrew the government. And then they found out that the new guy was even more insane than the last guy. So,
like literally happening in Florida.
somebody get Woody Allen on the horn.
God. So I have to check that movie out. I'm getting
Great
my
movie.
why can't I think of what it's called? Dystopian film setup. So I was gonna watch. I've never seen Soylent Green.
Oh, another great movie.
So that's on my list. And now, what is the
Great
name of
Charlton
the movie?
Heston science fiction
Bananas.
movies from that era.
Bananas.
Oh, Bananas, great. That's maybe my favorite Woody Allen movie.
Oh wow, he's like a.
I think
faux
that one's got a
opera.
really young Stallone with a non-speaking role in it when he's on the subway.
Oh wow. Cool. Is he easy to spot as a child?
Well, he's a young man. He's probably in his 20s.
Oh, okay.
but
So
he's
not
just
a
like
boy.
the tough, like thug on the subway.
Seems appropriate.
Yep.
I'm sure he was very intimidating.
Especially compared to Woody.
Here's one of the Rick Chandler videos where he was challenging me.
Whoa.
Nasty Neal. Oh, Nasty Neal. The only reason why you got the guts to call me out is because you know damn well that they got me locked up. They got my ass in isolation.
You know I've been stuck here in quarantine. You know I'm gonna be stuck here for another month. So you wanna get out there in your home, boneyard, whatever the hell you wanna call that place. You wanna talk smack about me because you know my hands are tied. But there's something else that you ought to know, Nasty Neal. I'm just biding my time. I got nothing else to think about in this place. You see, there's only one thing on my mind here in quarantine. That ain't no virus. That's you. When they let me out, when I get the orders that I could walk these streets, the first place that I'm going is your home. So you can call it whatever you want, and you could safely run your mouth for the time being. Because Rick Chandler can't hurt you.
Where can people find that? Because
that's on Facebook. Yeah, and then I've got some back to him. And yeah, that was it was actually a year ago yesterday, not a year ago, 5 years ago yesterday, April 2nd, 2020.
Wow.
Can you compile those?
I should, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a good little collection.
Yeah, he is really good. He's a natural born
It's like that Raven vibe to him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He would kick your ass. I think we all know it.
No.
Oh goodness.
So some of you out there want to make light of my home, where I dwell. Some of you want to call it the boneyard. I call it my destination of desolation. I like the one man in particular. I tried to let it go, but he keeps it up. I can't watch this. He calls
Why?
It's
Come on, man.
Cringy. You
so
sure?
Did you guys do a bunch of promos?
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of these. Yeah.
Yeah, you should collect them all. I'd like to watch
Yes. It was a while ago, Neal. You have grown.
All right, we'll watch some more here.
The Boston Strangler. Isn't that cute? Yes. The Boston Strangler. Rick Chandler, this is not one of your little movies. This is not a Boston film family production. This is reality. Maybe you don't know just how real this is. This is as real as it will ever get. Many of you know the last year and a half I've prepared for this. You might just think I was recovering, but I knew the world was coming to this. I've prepared my body and, more importantly, my soul and mind. My body is covered in scars. But people like us, like me and you, Rick Chandler, I know you've had your issues as well. People like us know that the scars on our body pale in comparison to the scars that exist up here. The scars on our body, the scars that people see, are nothing compared to the scars that no one can see. The scars that dwell deep inside here. You see, the scars on our body will fade over time. The scars on our body will heal. The scars up here will never fade. The scars up here will never heal. The scars up here will never be forgotten. They change you. They change you forever, Rick Chandler. And of all people, you should have realized that. So you want to talk about my home. You want to make light and call it the boneyard. Talk about professional wrestling. Yeah, you want to have a wrestling match. Okay, yeah. Well, if you want to come down here, Rick Chandler, we'll see what kind of wrestling match we'll have. So you talk about your little movies. You make your little movies. So you will know this. A wise man in a movie once said, just walk away. And there is a part of me, there is still a part of Neal in here that doesn't want to hurt you, that doesn't want to see you suffer. So I will give you that same opportunity. Just walk away. Put an end to this terror. Put an end to this horror. Rick Chandler, just walk away. Because if you enter my home, if you enter what you refer to as the boneyard, there will be terror. There will be horror. All that dwells here is death. All that lives here is pain. All you will know here is terror and the horror. So, Rick Chandler, I give you that opportunity. Just walk away. Because if you come in here into my home, that opportunity will be off the table. The kindness I'm showing you right now will not exist. It will just be the horror, the pain, and the death that you see. All that is here for you, Rick Chandler, is the end. So just walk away.
That was great.
Yeah, those were both really good. I dug those a lot.
That was the same day, April 2nd. Yeah. But so yeah, we had it was the pandemic. You know, he's in the city, so he really couldn't leave. I was just wandering around out in the woods and to kill time and still use creativity. We were challenging each other.
Oh yeah.
Kind of and then things started to open up, and I think we forgot about having a payoff to this.
Well, I mean,
that actually area is
this very podcast is like handled some pain.
No, it wasn't too bad. I guess it was on the fly, it was live.
Oh, those are both good. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? Do you do it like a supercut where you take everything and smash it?
I could, yeah. I don't know how many we did. Hopefully, they're all still. I'm sure they must all still be up here.
Well, you can clip them.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure you could ask him if he,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
he took any down.
Who would take down such greatness?
If you think it would be something people would enjoy, it could be like Without Your Head, special viewing of.
Yeah, one out because each one of these were about 5 minutes, so I'm not sure how long it'd be total.
You could always crop them down. Doesn't have to be
Yeah.
a deal. And maybe now you should have a showdown. It's 5 years. It's like 5 years. Like you said, it's like basically to the day. Today.
Mm-hmm.
That is meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Battle. He's gonna fight you for being the pot stirrer.
It'd be a great payoff to do like one of the WWE video games. You could make like the characters look like the two of you.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
I'm really curious what the audience out there thinks about the idea of the Nasty Neal, Rick Chandler face-off battle. So put in your votes. What do y'all want? Put in the votes. It could be like, oh my god, it could be like Nintendo, like Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a cage or like what are the ones where they have them in the parking garage? People.
Oh.
Orange Cassidy would be hiding in the trunk of a car.
And you can have people behind you just doing the same motions over and over, like a video.
So it's funny you said Undertaker because he's not the first person. I've never seen but years ago when I started wearing these hats, people said I looked like the Undertaker, and I never really saw it. But there we go. Maybe I gotta start shaving the mustache off again. I noticed we both had shaved mustache back then.
It was the time of the shaved mustache.
I guess so.
Was Undertaker also shaving his mustache back then?
I think he did not. I think he actually did when he was the more evil Undertaker, when he was actually sacrificing Stephanie McMahon.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
When he was like the ministry Undertaker.
Yep.
Isn't she like running the Department of Education now?
That's Linda.
Oh.
Yeah, she's run. And then when they brought up, because she said that she has a degree in education, and then when they brought up that she didn't, she has a degree in French.
There you go. That's close enough.
Her excuse was, "Oh, I forgot."
And that's okay.
Yeah, you just forget that you did.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And she said underwear will be worn on the outside so we can check.
Right. So next, so tomorrow we're going to be doing Ed Kemper show.
Yeah.
6 o'clock. That's gonna be
Troy,
really
will you
good.
be able to make it?
I'll try to. I'm not sure. We have a sniff spot, so we're taking the dogs out, but I'll see what time I get home.
All right. Well, hopefully you will be with us.
Next week we're going to have Billy Coyne. Oh no, that's not. Next week is Jeff Lieberman.
Aha.
Independent
What shall we
film.
be discussing, Neal?
Well, so we got this movie, The Blue Sunshine.
Oh.
Which is from I believe from the 70s. He's made, several movies. But I was like, hey, you want to come on? I've known him on Facebook for years. I was like, I got this one. And he's like, yeah, but I'm kind of blue sunshined out. Talk about my other movies too. I was like, we could talk about your whole career.
Yeah,
so
talk about everything.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about this, but we'll be talking about his whole career. And also he has a book out. He has a autobiography, which is on Audible.
Nice.
It's everywhere. It's not just Audible, but anyway, it'll be really cool. He's made a lot of cool movies. He made Slither, not Slither. What's the movie? Let me look him up real quick.
Slither is pretty great. Dave says you're going to take Rick to the woods and then to Suplex
City.
Oh.
Yeah, Blue Sunshine was 1977. He also made Squirm, which is a 1976 film. Which I had watched quite a bit when I was a kid. Easter Show and stuff. Satan's Little Helper from 2004.
Wow.
He's made a lot of cool independent. This is from IMDb. Writer-director Jeff Lieberman has crafted a handful of highly quirky, creative, and distinctive horror movies that are much enjoyed and appreciated by fans of offbeat and imaginative fright film fare. His pictures are distinguished by their novel oddball plots and amusingly eccentric sense of off-center humor.
Nice.
So yeah, this will be cool. Remote Control from 1988. The Never-Ending Story Part 3.
Whoa.
Wow. That's an interesting jump.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever saw Part 3.
I don't know if I did either. Just Before Dawn, which is his slasher film from 81.
Okay.
So he's got a very extensive resume here.
Yes.
So that'll be really interesting.
That's how I know. This is how I was like, there's something about Never-Ending Story 3. That's one of Melody Kay's movies from the 90s.
Oh, no kidding.
Wow. Yeah. So that's I'm gonna ask. We're gonna ask Melody if we have any stories about Jeff.
Yeah.
He wrote it. I'm sorry, he didn't direct it. So
you're asking her for stories about him.
Yeah.
And
I a young Jack Black.
No.
Story 3. Yeah.
See this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the MMA thing. So yeah, that'll be Jeff Lieberman next week. And then on the 17th, it's going to be a loaded show, but it worked this way. We're going to start with Billy Coyne will be in the second hour. The first hour will be a Bite School 2 extravaganza. So it'll be James Balsamo, effects artist Joe Castro will return. Michael Epstein will be with us. Sophia Cassiola. And a whole bunch of other cast members of Bite School 2.
Awesome.
Wow.
So it's going to be a loaded show with a bunch of crazy people from a really crazy James Balsamo movie that Michael, I believe this is the first one that Michael and Sophia shot. Michael edited.
really?
Yeah. And so a lot of our friends are in it, which is fun.
Yep.
So they're all welcome. So it might be a really crazy show. And then after that, Billy Coyne will be on. He wanted to come on before the filming of Our Man Funk.
Very nice.
So that'll be.
Oh, that sounds like a good time.
Yes. Greenboat's playing that theatrically right now. So go see that.
Yeah.
Go see it in the theater.
Do it.
Ugly Stepsister
fun.
coming out April 18th to the theaters.
So fantastic. I don't know if I'd describe it as fun,
No.
but it's got humor. It has a lot of dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal and beautiful, really.
Music of the month this month. We just set this up. Necro. So he's a rap artist set up by Melody K.
Nice. Melody K. Coming in the hero.
Yeah. So we playing one of his songs here to end the show. I know we're pretty late, so I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else.
No.
Yeah, I got nothing right now.
Yeah. I'd like new movies coming out, but that would take a long time. We'll do that.
Yeah, I need to be.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So Gene Shalit turned 99. I do want to mention that.
Whoa.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know he was.
Yeah, he's still with us. Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So good for him.
Yeah. Go Neal.
John Carpenter got his star on the Walk of Fame.
Nice.
That's amazing. That's so great.
And in sad news, Val Kilmer passed away, but he people knew this was coming because he had battled throat cancer for quite a while.
Yeah. Very sad.
But, yeah. Do you have a favorite before we wrap up? Do you have a favorite Val Kilmer movie or performance? I have to say Tombstone probably mine.
Yeah, Tombstone. It's tough to beat him in that one. I'm your Huckleberry.
Val Kilmer movies. I feel like there's so many.
Yeah, he's in the
Great
Dr.
Willow.
Moreau.
Willow.
Oh, Willow. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Willow.
Great
Yes.
in that one.
I freaking love that movie. Totally. That's the one for me. The built-in ashtray. He was also, lest we forget, in The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes, yeah. The writer, we're gonna have him on soon.
Richard Stanley.
Richard Stanley made a nice post about him.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's great. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna play us off here, but until next time, don't forget tomorrow we're gonna do another show.
6 p.m.
It probably won't be a super long show, but
I think it was 3 p.m. out there.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Everyone was cool with doing it at an hour later, so that was nice. Until then, this is Nasty Neal.
I'm Terrible Troy.
And this is Annabelle Lecter.
And this is Without
Your
Head.
Stabbing and 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 stabbing.
You have just judged yourself!